Field. Don Criqui and Dan Hampton.
Hot and humid in Chicago, where Soldier Field is sold out for tonight's game. Good evening, everyone. I'm Don Criqui. It's always a big game, even in the preseason, when the world champions come to town. And what the Bears do tonight against the Cowboys could tell us a lot about what's ahead for the Bears in the regular season. Right now, Chicago's defense is solid, but the Bears' offense needs improving, and that'll be tough to do against a Dallas defense that was #1 in the NFL last season. I'm joined by a former Bear captain and All-Pro, Dan Hampton. Dan, where's the Bears' offense at right now? Is it ready to move up a little?
Well, they need to, and I think they're improving, but they still haven't scored a touchdown in the first half of the first 3 preseason games. Now, Dave Wanstead says if he feels that if they do score, they can gain confidence and get to another level, which they need to be at for next week's opener.
On the Dallas side on offense, Troy Aikman is back in peak form, throwing the ball well in practice, and he's ready to go and start the game tonight. We'll be back with the opening kickoff in a moment.
The end of the model year is the smart time of the year to buy a new Ford because the 94s are coming, and now's the time to save big on all remaining 1993s. For a limited time, get 3.9% factory financing or $1,000 cash back on Ford Aerostar. Get $1,300.
Not for a second. That's why Electric Avenue beats the pants off the competition.
Mike, this week at Electric Avenue, get a Packard Bell 486SX computer with color monitor and free Epson printer for only $9.99, or a Packard Bell 486SX multimedia computer with color monitor and free Epson printer for just $15.99. And Electric Avenue will beat any competitor's price, guaranteed.
Teeny little guys, weren't they?
The stars will always shine, the birds will always sing. As long as there is thirst, there's always the real thing. Coca-Cola Classic is always the one. Whenever there is fun, there's always Coca-Cola. Yeah. Coca-Cola, always Coca-Cola.
Temperature at kickoff time, 88 degrees at Soldier Field. High humidity and a 30% chance of thunder showers. But right now, the playing conditions are good. This is actually a warmer night than what the Dallas Cowboys are used to in Texas. Now let's go down to Mark Giangreco on the sideline. Mark?
Don, Dave Wanstead just reminded me of something that we should all keep in mind. While he'll probably cut a bunch of familiar names on Monday, he hopes to have most of them back on Tuesday. With the new rules, a team can carry 58 players, dressing 45, with the developmental squad and the practice squad. So if things work out the way Dave Wanstead wants them to, and his key veterans clear waivers, we will have played this game essentially to cut 2 players. Let's go back upstairs.
And there is Dave Wanstead, the man who keyed the Cowboys defense last year when they were #1 in the NFL and the Cowboys were #1 in all of football. Gardocki is the kickoff man for the Chicago Bears, third-year man out of Clemson. See his 92 numbers, 20% touchbacks. They got some deep people that can really run. Kevin Williams is back deep, and also back for the Dallas Cowboys is Brock Marion. He's in there to block primarily. They want the ball to go to rookie Kevin Williams, a flyer out of Miami of Florida. Gardocki into the ball. It's a high spinner that'll carry short. This is Kevin Williams from the 5. Great special teams play by the Chicago Bears. Is coming down to make the play was Myron Baker, a rookie linebacker who's already made the team. And here comes Troy Aikman, Super Bowl MVP. His rise paralleled that of the Cowboys under Johnson. 89, they were 1-15 when his rookie year, and last year Super Bowl champions. Mark Stepnotsky is a Pro Bowl center. Eric Williams is a truly great offensive tackle. A lot of people don't know a lot about him. With Emmitt Smith still holding out, Derek Lassick is the man who'll get a lot of carries tonight. A.G. is blocker. Michael Irvin, rivaling Jerry Rice for honors, is the best wide receiver in pro football. Aikman on first down. Ball was caught, then lost. And they're going to, let's see what they rule if it's a reception and a drop. It's going to be a completed pass, a 12-yard gain, and a first down for the Cowboys. As we look at the Chicago Bears starting defense, it's been effective the entire preseason. Armstrong, McMichael, the Fridge, you heard the pregame show, possibly on the bubble. Richard Dent having a great summer. And the secondary sound. Mark Carrier, Dave Wannstedt said, has risen back up to all-pro level. He has 2 interceptions so far. Aikman putting it right back up. Another on-time pass. This one to Michael Irvin on the near side. Cowboys went through a passing drill here at Soldier Field last night, and these were the exact plays they worked on. Quick outs.
Michael Irvin always seems like he's open here. Jeremy Lincoln, the right cornerback, gives him a pretty good cushion. Eyes in the backfield. He sees the ball thrown. But Michael Irvin has made a great break outside. Easy completion. That's bread and butter for Troy Aikman. 15-yard completion. Moving it right down the field. Move them chains.
Cowboys will tell you that they don't think there's a player in the National Football League that works harder than Michael Irvin to get better all the time. And this is Derek Lassick, who helped the Crimson Tide of Alabama win a national championship. And around of Miami at the Sugar Bowl, Lassick been getting a lot of work, and the middle linebacker Dante Jones makes the stop for the Bears.
Dante's a guy that needs to show up tonight. We did the Phoenix game 2 weeks ago. Didn't get a lot of calls that night. I think he needs to really be active tonight to have a chance to retain that starting middle linebacker position. You know, it's hard, Don, when you're coming in to fill in for a guy like Mike Singletary.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, they want Dante Jones to step up and be a quality starter in the NFL.
Mike Singletary, one of the all-time Chicago Bears, retiring after last season. Cowboys moving. Consecutive passes for 12 and then 15 yards. Here's another one as the ball was almost picked up in the backfield. Richard Dent puts the heat on. And the receiver was Derek Lassick.
Richard Dent, right in the middle of your screen, 95, taking Mark Tune upfield. He sees it's going to be a quick, flat pass there. Richard doing the smart thing, he used to call him the Colonel. He got up and swatted that one down.
Look like he got it with his shoulder. Dent, he's done a terrific job all preseason. He's really backed up to his very best playing levels. That brings up 3rd down and 10 for Aikman and the Cowboys. Another great throw. This is to Kevin Williams, the rookie, and it's a first down for Dallas. Aikman looking about as good as you can look. As Wannstedt said yesterday, we don't get on this guy and pressure. He can take us apart with that passing game.
Troy Aikman is a quality quarterback. We all know that. Maybe a superstar. But he knows this defensive scheme, and he knows exactly where to attack it. As the receivers pushing off the corners, running deep outs, later, watch the corners biting on those outs, and the out and up might hurt him deep.
And Aikman, of course, is a comeback story this season. He was injured lifting weights, underwent surgery June 19th. And back as good as ever as the Bears go to the run, and rookie Derek Lassick runs hard and takes it out where the cornerback, Donnell Wolford, number 21, was the first to make the hit for Chicago. There's Donnell Wolford, first-round draft choice out of Clemson. He's been a Pro Bowl player.
But Donnell Wolford is really the rock at the corner position. Jeremy Lincoln and Blaylock will be the guys that play a lot in the nickel and of course on the other side, but they expect Donnell Wolford to be as good as anyone has in the league playing left cornerback.
On 2nd and 2, let's see what the Cowboys go to. To Lassick, and the Bears get him. Now the Bears must show they can defend the pass, because every time Aikman's made a throw, he's hit it.
If you look at the top, 93, Trace Armstrong taking an inside move there. McMichael trying to fight out the outside linebacker. Kane blitzing. Trace makes a big play in the backfield, beating the fullback's block after slipping under the right tackle, Eric Williams. Now, that's the type of play that you want out of a guy like Trace Armstrong. More of a quickness, ripping kind of player rather than a rock. He can make those all night.
8th play of the drive. 3rd down. Aikman needs 5. He's going for the whole thing. It's caught. And the Cowboys take it in for the touchdown as the great Michael Irvin from 41 yards out has the opening touchdown of the game.
41 yards, and the Cowboys touchdown.
And Michael Irvin makes it look pretty easy here. Earlier, Aikman working the out pattern over there, making Donnell Workfoot bite on it. Then he turns, Donnell running for his life. Michael Irvin just jumps up, catches it. Tip ball, easy deal.
So the world champions looking every bit their role as the best team in football. And now Lynn Elliott comes on the field to try the point after, which he knocks through. One of the interesting things about the Cowboys, last year they were the youngest team in the National Football League and they won the Super Bowl. This year they're looking to repeat and they're even younger, averaging about 26 years a man. They lead 7-0.
Good news.
7-0 Dallas on the 41-yard scoring play from Troy Aikman to Michael Irvin. And he just yesterday, Dan, Dave Wester was saying, I really feel our defense is right where we want to be. But on that play, a very good cornerback was beaten deep by a great player.
Really was. And again, I felt like the Chicago Bear defense had really come alive last week against New Orleans. He's got to make some adjustments now. Ball fell off the tee here, Don.
Bears thought it was a trick play, I think, looking around at each other.
Well, I tell you what, if you send your defense out and you've got a lot of confidence in them, and the opposing team goes 8 plays, 85 yards, and 3 minutes and 45 seconds to score, you start looking for anything. Start watching for grenades.
This guy is just a fantastic, and people don't know what he came back to or from. A lot of people forget in '89 he had a major knee injury. Missed 10 games that season, and the next 4 the following season, 90. Never stops working, Michael Irvin. Here comes Terry Obey, the rookie, breaking it across the 25 and out to the 28-yard line. Now let's take a look at our Ford scoring drive. Didn't take long, Dan. Big throws with a key.
Well, not only that, he mixed it up. He threw to 3 different receivers, and of course, working those out, you get those cornerbacks nervous. They don't want to be embarrassed having something thrown underneath them. They bite a little bit, then you throw it over their heads. It's either a completion or an interference call most of the time. That time, Michael Irvin made it look easy.
Well, that's what they talk about Irvin. He's very physical. He pushes off a lot, but doesn't get flagged for it. He knows how to do it. Here's Harbaugh's numbers so far in the preseason, a 65 quarterback rating. Well, these guys can come after you. They got a big rush, do the Cowboys, and he throws to Hayward, a 290-pound fullback, and he's out to the 33. The Bears on offense. Troy Auzine, his coach Dave Wannstedt said we need Troy to move it up to another level to be a good team. Bortz has had a very good summer. Van Horn, the veteran at right tackle. Darren Lewis in, along with Hayward in the backfield. Wendell Davis starting, as is Tom Waddle in for the injured Anthony Morgan. And they're starting a rookie at tight end. Ryan Wetnight was the starter out of Stanford. 2nd down and 6 now for Chicago. Make that 3rd down and 6. Leon Lett, the man who had that forgettable moment for him in the Super Bowl when he was dancing into the end zone, or so he thought, only to have the ball knocked away by Don Beebe of the Bills. He made the tackle. There's the front 7. They're deep. Tolbert, Jimmy Jones, Leon Lett, Charles Haley. If Aikman was the MVP in the Super Bowl, he was runner-up. Smith and Brown, 2 young corners, very good. Everett, a former Steeler, and now 3rd down and 6 arises for Harbaugh, so he'll be putting it up. Good throw and a terrific catch by a guy who's made a career out of making him, Tom Waddle. Now they're waving it off.
It looked pretty good, but more than likely what happened was Tom let the ball touch the ground before his knees touched the ground. We'll look at it here. Tommy stretching out for it. It looks like it did bobble out a little bit. But, you know, a guy like Tom Waddle, I'd have to give him that one, Doc.
Yeah, that's close.
Now that's cutting, splitting some hairs pretty fine.
Caught it. Gardocki hits a punt downfield. Evan Williams watches it roll as the Bears again have very good special teams coverage. And the ball's down at the 17-yard line. Dan Abramowitz, the former New Orleans Saints standout wide receiver, coaches the Bears special teams, and very well so far, as we have a timeout with the Cowboys still in the lead 7-0.
The end of the model year is the smart time of the year to buy a new Ford Taurus. The 94 Tauruses are coming, and now's the time to save big on all remaining 1993s. For a limited time, you can get low 3.9% factory financing for 48 months on America's #1 selling car. Or choose $1,000 cash back direct from Ford. All before your best model year-end deal. 3.9% factory financing or $1,000 cash back on Ford Taurus. But you've got to hurry. See your local Ford dealer today.
Shelling continued today outside Sarah.
In a world of 5 or 50 or even 500 channels, there is still only one channel where you can get a daily dose of the unexpected on hard copy. Only one channel where you can share a laugh with Seinfeld every Thursday.
Later in this newscast,
Only one channel where you can see Chicago's best news. Then go to bed with The Tonight Show. That channel is WMAQ TV Channel 5, a valuable part of your life.
Chris Gardocki punted the ball very well for the Bears last Monday night at the Superdome against the Saints, and the Electric Avenue Montgomery Ward Special Teams Player of the Week is Chris Gardocki for his efforts against the Saints. With good coverage on his last punt, the Cowboys will take over for their second possession of the game, 1st and 10 just outside their 16-yard line. Aikman's big, 6'4", weighs 225, very mobile, runs well. Started at Oklahoma, transferred to UCLA, and here's the handoff. And running with the ball is Derek Gainer. It's on the field, and the Bears have it. Live ball. Sean Gale picked it up, and he's down to the 27-yard line. So the Bears defense makes the big play.
Don, what they did, they ran an inside gut trap. Watch the center, block back on McMichael here. Nate turns the fridge out. They've got a freeway through there. Now Gainer, after a long gainer, does something all backs should never, ever do when you play for Jimmy Johnson. Lay it on the ground. It's a pretty good hit, but the ball didn't look like it was stripped out, just a helmet on it. Great recovery by Sean Gale.
Might have been Jeremy Lincoln, Dan, that put the helmet on it. So now the Bears have to do something as they have a possession inside the Dallas 30-yard line. First quarter, Cowboys lead 7-0. First down throw. Here comes Haley. Right back. A pick the other way. A tip ball as Haley put the heat on Jim Harbaugh, just as he did all game long on Jim Kelly in the Super Bowl. The penalty marker was also down. Let's see what it is. Yeah, the Bears offense is coming off. They picked it up. Apparently the play is going to go.
It'll be holding against the Bears. Obviously they will decline. A big rush by Jimmy Jones and Charles Haley right in Harbaugh's face. He really can't see where Ironhead is. You'll see now Ironhead, number 45, right in your screen. He just tries to loft it over the rush's head, but it was too high. Ironhead could not see it, bobbled it. Easy interception. That's what you get with this Dallas defense. An awful lot of pressure. Quarterback can't make a bad throw because those guys are very opportunistic.
Robert Jones out of East Carolina, who started as a rookie, making the play, and here's Aikman putting it right up again. Eludes the rush, gets the ball away. Second receiver got it, but they ruled that Michael Irvin, who caught the tip ball, made the catch out of bounds. Joe Kane was defending.
A couple of weeks ago, Richard Dent, the right end, gave Louis Sharp a fine left tackle for the Phoenix Cardinals. All he wanted that night. A couple of sacks, a couple of penalties. There we saw Richard bull rushing the left tackle Mark Tunney right back in Aikman's lap. He had to get out and try to make something out of it. But if Richard keeps playing like that, he's going to be the leader of this defense for the '93 season.
The Fridge got a rush there too, Dan. As you pointed out earlier, his job could be on the line. He could be a cut unless he picks up his performance levels. An interesting confidence call for Derek Gainer. You'll remember he fumbled the last play he carried the ball, and they give it right back to him with both arms on it. He gets ahead for about 3, and McMichaels makes the stop for Chicago.
Well, there's the old Warrior.
A 4-yard pickup.
Remember when he came to us, that may be the greatest waiver acquisition in the history of the Chicago Bears. A second-round pick by New England in 1980. We picked him up later in the season, and I think everybody that's ever watched the Bears play knows the rest. The guy's incredible. 15th year, and still going strong. He's like the ever-ready bunny.
Yes, his
Little meaner,
14th year last season was one of his best ever. Here's a throw to Derek Gainer. Good open field hit by Maurice Douglas.
The Gainer, submarine by Mo Douglas. With an assist.
Mo Douglas, a backup safety who does an awful lot for the Bears in the nickel packages. We'll see him right here jumping the crossing pattern. Here he just closes up. They were back in a 4-deep zone. You just wait till somebody comes in, go get him.
So the Bears finally slow down the Dallas offense, and the Cowboys send their punter out. This is John Jett. He's a rookie. And penalty markers before the snap. Bears think it's against the Cowboys. See what the only guy in the house who counts thinks.
Number 93 before the snap.
Referee Gary Lane. It is against Dallas. 7:49 to go in the first quarter. Cowboys on the opening possession went right down the field behind the right arm of Aikman, finally scoring on a 41-yard pass play from Aikman to Michael Irvin. Low snap, no big rush. Ball well hit by John Jett. Here's Terry Obie at the 32. And he is out to the 43-yard line. 42 they'll spot it at. And the Bears go on offense again, needing badly to make something happen with 7:25 to go in the first quarter. 45-yard punt, 11-yard return.
How about some good news for a change? Well, 4 of the top 10 models in J.D. Power & Associates initial quality study are Toyotas. It gets better.
Back at Soldier Field, where they play on a natural grass turf. For more on that, let's go down to Mark Giangreco.
Well, Don, keep in mind, we're only 7:25 left in the first quarter. We've already got the turf coming up in chunks here. It's a pretty soggy situation that'll certainly hamper execution, but moreover, might promote a chance for more injury. Back to you.
Hopefully that won't happen. As we look at total yards, this is almost a shutout so far. It is on the scoreboard, 7-0 Dallas. And again, the Cowboys shut down the run as Jimmy Jones, a former Miami of Florida tackle, makes the stop. Darren Lewis got the call.
Jimmy Jones, you'll see him knifing to the inside right here. What he's doing, he's just taking Lewenberg straight back. Now bull rushing him. On first down, those guys don't like to go head over heels towards the quarterback. They know it's either going to be a draw or something like that. That's what you do. You just jam those guys into the backfield and look for some guy coming with the ball. That's exactly what he did.
They're calling it 2nd down and 11. Harbaugh with the out. He makes the throw, and Wendell Davis comes down with the ball. He's out to the 49-yard line for Chicago, tackled by another standout Dallas defender, number 51, Ken Norton Jr., some of the former heavyweight world champion.
Well, this offense emphasizes the 3-step drop. There you saw Jim take 3 steps, look to his left, see rotated coverage there. He knows he's got Wendell man on man over here, makes a smart decision. Now, it's important that the Bears get a score here early in the game. Don, they need to gain some confidence. All the games they played in the preseason, they have lost by no more than 6. A touchdown would have won all 3. They need to score some points here.
Right now, they need 4 yards on 3rd down. Harbaugh with max protection isn't enough. They run him down. Jim Jeffcoat, an 11-year veteran, beats the block. And so the Bears come up empty again on 3rd down, and they'll have to punt.
Well, Jim Harbaugh looks like he shook up a little bit. Jim Jeffcoat, number 77, gets the trap. You see him right there at the left end, goes inside Van Horn. But the guy that made all the problems was number 78, Leon Lett, working on Mark Bortz. Now, that Dallas front comes in waves. They've got 4 more on the bench that can do it just like that.
Gardocki back on the field to punt again. Look at the huge rush. They had the block on. They couldn't get it, though. And Kevin Williams comes up on the ball. A running start. And there's a penalty marker down also in the Bears backfield, as coming down to make the play for Chicago was Maurice Douglas. What Ramos was saying before the game, Dan, is one of his consistently best special teams guys, along with Bob Christian. 35-yard punt, a 4-yard return, but here's our ref.
Went clean.
Running into the kicker, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 4th down.
Running into the
Okay, we're standing here with the punter, Gardaki. You'll see from the right side, missing the ball, but still catching the back of his leg. Now, I don't know if... I'm not sure that Dustin Hoffman wouldn't have a better chance. I mean, Gardaki may win the Oscar this year from Dustin Hoffman with that little act, but that is what you have to do. If they don't get the ball and they make contact, make sure the officials see it.
5-yard penalty. Repeat, 4th down.
He's going for that player of game again. Gardaki.
Well, all due respect to Chris Gardaki, he had a great game. You don't want a punter to have the best game.
No.
You want your kicker or maybe a running back or a receiver, somebody scoring points.
It's like having the guy that leads the league in kickoff returns. You're not doing too good. When he leads in number. The marker, they didn't pick it up. It's still in the backfield. Now Williams is forced into a fair catch, and he lets it hop into the end zone. So on the touchback, the ball will come out to the 20-yard line, and Dallas will go on offense there. 49-yard punt, 29 net as it comes out to the 20. So the Cowboys and Aikman are ready to go to work again when we come back. The program is presented by authority of the National Football League and the Chicago Bears. It's intended for the private use of our audience, the non-commercial use. Any publication, reproduction, and transmission or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Football League, the Chicago Bears, and WMAQ television is strictly prohibited. Nothing's been prohibiting the Cowboys passing game. It's been hot. Now they go to the run. Derek Lassick turns it out, turns it up, and he's ahead for 8. Looking good. Talking to Jimmy Johnson about Emmitt Smith, his holdout. I said to Jimmy last night, I said, you can probably plug him in a couple days before if he reports before the Washington game, so we can plug him in at game time. So if he shows up.
Pre-game. Hey, Emmett, come on down.
Derek Lassick, though, has made the team in the absence of Emmitt Smith. Reportedly, the Cowboys are offering Emmitt Smith a $3 million a season deal. He wants the same as Thurman Thomas at Buffalo got, which is $4 million. And Jerry Jones, who owns the Cowboys, says that won't happen. You're not going to get that much. Lassick is thrown back now on a short yardage play. Trace Armstrong, another guy who's had a good preseason, makes the stop.
They ran a little kind of a slant draw play there. Trace making a good move down inside. But, you know, that's the thing that Emmitt Smith brings to the table. He's so quick. On that play there, it was closed down. He could have got outside. And that's what the Bears defense has to do. They've got to make sure they control the inside and let the linebackers patrol outside. Thus far, they've ran some gut traps for some pretty good chunks up inside. They need to anchor in inside.
Getting those traps off because those Bear defenders are back off the line. Aikman's been throwing the ball downfield and hitting people. Now he eludes the rush, and here's Aikman on the run. They don't like to see that after undergoing surgery on his lower back. But on 3rd and short, he gets what he needed and more. It's a first down for Dallas. Jimmy was jogging down Michigan Avenue here in Chicago today.
Well, he probably wouldn't have been smiling if he knew that Troy Aikman was going to have to take it down and get upfield and maybe take a shot on his back. Now, the thing about Aikman, he's a big guy. It doesn't look that big when you see him on the field, but believe me, folks, he's 6'4", 225. He's a strong, young, handsome man, and he can move an offense pretty easily with that arm.
Penalty marker down, stopping the clock with 3:48 to play in the first quarter. The Cowboys continue to lead the game 7-0 on the 41-yard touchdown pass on their first possession from Aikman to Michael Irvin.
Illegal contact. Number 21 in the defense. 5-yard penalty back on the end of the run. First down.
On the first series where Dallas went down the field, they tried to do some man-on-man pass coverages, and Aikman ate lunch. Now they're getting into a soft zone. Donnell Wolford called with the bump. Donnell walked up on the receiver, Michael Irvin, and beat on him a little bit, trying to keep him on the line of scrimmage. That gave the pass rush enough time to force Aikman out of the pocket. Now that's good defense. Aikman was able to make it to the first down marker, but yet that was a good defensive play by the Bear defense.
The first down story, 5-0 Chicago. The point story, 5-0 Dallas. Point story 7-0 Dallas. Here's the handoff as running with the ball straight up the middle is Derek Lassick picking his way. He looks like Emmitt Smith, making people miss.
Lassick, the ball carrier, tackled by Joe Kane.
Dent will take an upfield rush here. The left tackle will double down on Zoritz there, just caving in the left side. Ron Cox has got to get back inside and fill on that. Jay Novacek doing a good job of getting Dent up the field. Now, the Dallas offensive line gets an awful lot of credit for the pass blocking, but I tell you what, they're excellent run blockers too, Don.
And on 2nd and 1, they go back, pick the Lassick. Here's another out. Michael Irvin turns it up. He is thrown back, but he's thrown back 10 yards downfield as he receives the ball at the 45-yard line of the Bears. A 12-yard gain and a first down.
An awful lot of people wouldn't want to be lined up one-on-one right here. Now you see Lincoln, once you spin a quarterback, he has to lose sight of the ball. If the quarterback delivers, a lot of times you can shake that corner there. Aikman delivering it right on time. Again, the speed of Michael Irvin making those corners respect him. They're doing a lot better, it seems, when they get up there and bump him in a soft zone.
This guy with his phenomenal receiving numbers. Over 3,200 yards combined the last 2 years. Lassick trying to go wide, and he's finally run out of bounds. Ball is advanced down to about the 43-yard line as we'll watch the middle linebacker of the Bears go after him.
Dante Jones fired through. Now look to the left of your screen. Dante blitzing, taking an inside path on the fullback and missing the tackle. Now, middle linebacker on a blitz, you would hope that he'd make that play, but in all due respect, he made a good decision going inside, making the ball carrier bounce and giving the secondary time to run him out of bounds.
That's Irvin to the top of your screen. He's caught 3 for 67 yards and a touchdown. This time they come near side, and again, Dent gets a piece of the ball. He could have had 2 picks here today if he knew it was coming.
Starting to look like Lambeer in there and batting balls down. Richard Dent does so many things that don't show up in the stats at the end of the game. Here's a second batted ball. Hey, folks, maybe that ball's completed. Maybe a couple of missed tackles. Maybe that's the thing he does. You stop the bleeding before it starts when you bat those balls down. Richard got a second one thus far in the first quarter.
While the Bears are winless this preseason, 0-3, the Cowboys are 1-2-1. Doesn't bother them. Last year they were 1-3 in the preseason. Then won 13 regular season games and eventually the Super Bowl. Finished the year 16-3, and here's a throw to Kevin Williams, good for a 12-yard gain, as Aikman has just been laser sharp, threading the ball.
Jim Morrissey, the nickel linebacker's out tonight. Jim Schwantz, 52 in the middle of your screen there. He's locked up inside, checking everything. Then he comes back outside, making the play on the receiver. Aikman knows this defense like the back of his hand. He's finding those holes. He's picking them apart. They've got to get a little bit better rush because I tell you what, they look pretty finely tuned right now and ready for next week's opener.
And to try and get that better rush, they've just inserted Chris Zorich and Alonzo Spellman, 2 second-year down linemen. End around. This is Kevin Williams on the run. The fastest player on the field breaks it inside the Bears' 20-yard line. A 13-yard gain down to the 17-yard line. That's the game clock in the first quarter ticking down to 36 seconds. Kevin Williams out of the Miami of Florida program. He was originally recruited there by Jimmy Johnson. Drafted in the 2nd round this year.
Well, they love his speed. He's got an awful lot of toughness for a receiver. Guess who made the tackle on that last play, folks? Steve McMichael ranging back 10 yards with hustle to make that play.
But the Cowboys are challenging again on 1st and 10. Back to the run. This time they bust into the left side of the Bears defense. And it's down to the 15-yard line, and that will do it for the first quarter of play. As the Cowboys on their first possession took a 7-0 lead, and when we come back, they'll be challenging to score again.
The end of the model year is the smart time of the year to buy a new Ford because the 94s are coming, and now's the time to save big on all remaining 1993s. For a limited time, get 3.9% factory financing or $1,000 cash back on Ford Aerostar. Get $1,300 savings on America's #1 selling truck, the Ford F-150. Or drive home $1,900 savings on everybody's favorite Ford Explorer. Get great model year-end savings all before you make your best deal. But you've got to hurry. See your local Ford dealer today.
Who's collecting? McDonald's! NFL kickoff payoff points!
Pull your kickoff payoff tab to find out how many points you've scored.
Touchdown! I got 6 points!
Save 10 points for a sheet of NFL player trading cards.
You got Williams. Give you Nelson.
So collect kickoff payoff points and win.
What you want is what you get.
Play kickoff payoff.
McDonald's today.
Enjoy the Burger of the Month, the Quarter Pounder Club Sandwich. Add fries and a Coke Classic for an extra value meal and play kickoff payoff at participating McDonald's.
Hey, Dragon Racing!
We want to watch the dog.
Things are changing at Montgomery Ward. And Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Nothing quenches that deep down body thirst better than Gatorade.
You can work up that deep down body thirst tonight. 88 degrees and high humidity here in Chicago at historic Soldier Field, a stadium originally constructed in 1919 on 65-foot pilings in Lake Michigan.
Watch him throwing a fade to one of the receivers. The receivers are really curious about who was in the defensive backfield for the Bears.
2nd and 7. Aikman swings it out. And Lassick bobbles the ball, then catches it. And he heads towards the end zone, cut short by Wolford at the 3-yard line. But there's a 12-yard gain. This Lassick looks like a real thing here.
I'll tell you what he does. And a minute ago when Richard Dent knocked the ball down, I said, hey, what if? See, that's what you have to look at when you get a guy knocking a ball down. It stops the bleeding early. Here they blitz. They did not get the ball knocked down. Carrier tries to make an open field. Lassick avoids him. Donnell has to stop the touchdown. Now, that's the thing about that pass rush. Even if they don't get there, if they knock the ball down, it takes a lot of pressure off your corners and your secondary.
So the Cowboys now go 1st down and goal. Lassick gets him close. Stopped at the 2.
Steve McMichael just made a heroic charge there. Lassick ran right into his chest. There, Steve's the last guy to get up. Usually the guy that does the most on a play is the last one to get up, Don. On the left of your screen here, 70, right there in the middle, 76. He's keeping off Stemnowski right there, feeling like a linebacker. Ming the Merciless used to tell me in practice, hey, Hamp, if I was a linebacker, I'd be in the Hall of Fame. Well, I'll tell you what, he looked like one there. He looked like an oversized Matt Millen. Great play by McMichael to save the touch.
He looks like a guy that should be coming in on a Harley rather than Jerry Glanville. Here's a handoff to Lassick, and he cracks the left side and goes in standing up. So the world champions looking better than ever in this final tune-up before they head to D.C. in the opener against the Redskins.
Well, they get inside. They run the long trap. Here, the left guard, Newton, kicking out on Dante Jones as he feels. It's a walk-in, folks. Bears defense has to stop them inside. Haven't done it yet.
Lynn Elliott out to try the point after. He drives it through, and Dallas Cowboys have now extended their lead after a sustained drive to 14-0. And it'll be Elliott kicking it off when we come back to Chicago. Dave Wannstedt with questions to answer. His offense has produced a total of 7 yards on 7 offensive plays. 1 turnover.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dallas marched right down the field again. A long drive, 13 plays. They led the league in possession time last year.
Elliott hits the ball very deep as Obi is warned not to bring it out, so he downs the ball 8 yards deep in the end zone. As we take a look now at our Ford scoring drive. Very impressive, 13 plays.
Again, 6 minutes, 38 seconds. Aikman now 9 of 11 to 5 different receivers. If receivers don't drop the ball, the clock keeps moving. You score points, you just choke the other team to death. Now it's important for the Bears offense to take a big step. They know they're only going to play the first half. They've only got 13.5 minutes to make a stand, make a statement here. Jim Harbaugh knows that without that ground game going, he's going to have to make some smart decisions and get the ball down the field.
Yarded down, won't get it done. 7 plays, 7 yards for the Bears. To the run they go. Darren Lewis gets the call for Chicago. He's across the 20, got about 3.
But Darren Lewis is a guy that if Neil Anderson isn't the man, he will have to be. Now, he had some knee surgery done in the offseason, came into camp heavy. He's just now working himself into shape, getting his quickness back. He's down around 210 pounds. They like him. He's more of an inside pounder, but not the slasher that Neil Anderson, when healthy, that's what he is.
Darren Lewis, a former Southwest Conference Player of the Year at Texas A&M. Harbaugh stands in. Here comes the rush. He gets it away, and coming back at the ball nicely was Dante Whitaker. Not much yards, but he did well to get any.
Well, you know, a lot of folks say, well, P.T. Willis' stats about, like Dent, doing some things that don't show up in the stats. Well, Harbaugh does an awful lot of those. Avoiding the rush, diving for the first down. I mean, he does an awful lot of things to inspire his teammates and help his team win. And, you know, a lot of quarterbacks, they worry about the rating points. Jim Harbaugh only worries about one thing, and that's winning. And I think that's why the Bears are counting on him to be the first-team starter all year long.
He's got the job. He's been knighted. And I'd point out that Willis is, as you said earlier, Dan, has said some of his passing numbers against backups. Against an all-out blitz, Harbaugh just releases the hot receiver, the man that they automatically go to when the blitz comes, was Obi. Harbaugh thought he was, but Obi wasn't even looking at the pass.
Well, they had a corner blitz on from the other side. Harbaugh had a deep pattern call there, about a 14, 15-yard pattern. It takes a long time for him to mature. Terry Obi never knew the blitz was coming, and that's something that all players have to learn. Side adjustment is so important when you get against a team that can blitz like Dallas.
And so for the Bears, 3 possessions, 3 times and out. 3 downs and out. Yardaki getting a lot of work and doing his work well. A very high punt that'll force a fair catch at the 40-yard line. So they're entrusting the rookie Kevin Williams with most of the return duties. A 34-yard punt, but no return. And that high-tech Dallas offense is ready to go to work when we come back again to Soldier Field.
What's the difference?
This is Don Criqui with Dan Hampton back at Soldier Field in Chicago. The Cowboys averaged 37 points a game in their last 5 games of last season. And look, Dan, like they're going to be right up in those numbers again this year as the Bears look at pictures.
That's last month's Playboy there. No, not really. I tell you what, Mark Borch is an old hand in there learning how to make adjustments. They need to make some real quick here.
Number 25 getting a lot of work. That time the Bears were looking for Derek Lassick and shut him down.
In this defensive scheme, the defensive ends can also get inside rather than just rush the passer. There, Trace, number 93, Trace Armstrong, getting a takedown by Eric Williams there, does a nice job of jamming up that interior dive play that Dallas has been running down the Bears' throats. That's what you've got to do. Hey, it's embarrassing when a team beats you with the run, but not inside. That's home turf.
2nd down and 11. Aikman looks for the outlet man, finds Tommy Agee, a veteran running back. One of the very valuable Plan B players that Dallas acquired. 91, they signed 16 Plan B players, and 4 of them have been major contributors, Agee being one, and the best of the lot of those Plan Bs that came in that year. Jay Novacek, the Pro Bowl tight end. While Dallas sent nobody from its #1 defense to the Pro Bowl, 6 Dallas offensive players went to the Pro Bowl last January.
Well, you talk to a lot of people around the NFL, and like you said, an awful lot of guys on offense get credit, but believe me, most of the NFL people in the know said the defense is what got them there and won the game.
Aikman, downfield throw. He hits Novacek, who takes a big pop from Mark Carrier. But he holds on. Not enough, though, on 3rd down, and Dallas will punt the ball.
Well, Novacek, the Pro Bowl starter last year, here you see him grazing Spellman, doing a little extra. Then here in an isolation on Sean Gale, crossing right in behind the linebackers. There, Mark Carrier makes just a great shot right across his jaw. But I tell you, Novacek never flinched. He got right up, threw the ball to the fish, and went to the sideline. Tough guy.
And that puts John Jett back on the field to punt. Bears got blocked. What a great play on special teams. A free ball, and there's only Bears after it. It's picked up and taken in by Bob Christian. The Northwestern Wildcat puts the Bears on the board.
Christian, number 44 from the left side of your screen. No, it's number 25. Keyshawn Johnson doing a great job coming up untouched. Here you'll see number 25, Johnson, getting up, blocking the ball. And if the Bears are looking for a spark, they got a minor explosion here.
See, this guy, a running back, so he got the good hands to pick up the ball. Linemen usually kick it into row F.
Thanks a lot.
No. Here's the point after by Butler, knocked up and through. And on a tremendous play by Keyshawn Johnson, he was the kid that got beat Monday night late in the game at New Orleans for the winning touchdown by the Saints. He comes back to make a tremendous play on special teams. There's a marker down on the extra point attempt.
It'll be holding against the Bears.
So the Bears, averaging a yard of play on offense, finally get a touchdown from their special teams.
Holding, offense, number 54, 10-yard penalty, repeat the try.
That'll be Ron Cox out on the outside. He's the wing guy. He's got a real tough job. Guy coming inside his knee, and he's got to bump him and then push out with his outside arm. A lot of times you get caught holding there, and all you're trying to do is just hang on.
So now the extra point becomes the equivalent of a 30-yard field goal attempt. And Butler hooks it through. Perilously close to the left offside. There's the man who blocked the punt. And the man who picked it up and took it in as the Bears are on the board trailing 14-7. Chicago kicks off in a moment.
When they told him he didn't have the size to play, he reached inside and found the power. Starter. He was from a small school in a small town, but he had the heart to make it big. Starter. Each had a dream, and when you start with a dream, where you end up is up to you. Starter.
Tonight, I just want to do what I want to do with one of these from Blockbuster. No phones, no guys, just me and my VCR. So do what you want to do. Make it a Blockbuster night.
A bodyguard lives by 3 rules. Never let your guard down. Never let her out of your sight. Never fall in love. Kevin Costner, Whitney Houston, The Bodyguard. Look for it on video cassette.
A night of terror on North LaSalle Street as firefighters were tirelessly arrested.
Car plunges into Lake Michigan. Dramatic rescue unfolds.
He is in serious condition, being upgraded.
And we're back to Soldier Field, where the Bears just scored on a block punt and recovery. The block by rookie Keyshawn Johnson, and the recovery by fullback Bob Christian, who ran it in. And now Gardocki is ready to kick off. There's Christian, the all-time leading rusher at Northwestern. Brock Marion is back deep. So is Kevin Williams, and Williams, the fastest Dallas Cowboy, gets the ball. Look out. Look out. Out to the 42-yard line goes fleet Kevin Williams. 36-yard return. So the Bears make a big play on special teams, then give one up. Now we'll take a look at our Toyota game summary. Looks like this. Total offense, no contest. Aikman, superb. As was the punt block by Keyshawn Johnson.
Well, Troy Aikman has looked like Robo-Jock out here tonight. I mean, he's done everything great without Emmitt Smith. I'll tell you what, if I'm Emmitt Smith, I'm getting worried.
Yeah,
I'm saying, hey, a mill 5, I'll be there Monday.
He's doing that agent talk now. I wish he come down. Aikman on the run. Here's a penalty marker as Troy Aikman hits for the sideline.
Troy Aikman, the ball carrier.
It'll be holding on the Cowboy offensive line. It looked like somebody had a hold of Fritz pretty good. And
there was a great foot race, though, Dan, between Alonzo Spellman and Aikman.
I don't know if I would bet against Alonzo. The guy can run like a deer. Big deer.
The other side.
Maybe an elk.
There's Alonzo. I'll tell you, he's got a car down parked beneath Soldier Field that's worth more than my house, Alonzo Spellman. A V12 import.
Holding, offense, Number 61, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Nate, not Nat, Newton. This year when he was introduced in San Antonio, they called him Nat Newton. He got so mad, everybody said he almost quit eating for 2 days. But no, Big Fig Newton is about 330 pounds, head up on the fridge. It'll be a good matchup to watch tonight.
Well, that's a landmass, huh? Moving. Lassig, cutting back. This guy can play football. It's Derek Lassig. This kid is.
Well, you know, we got Fridge, we got McMichael and Denton, all these big guys. Act like you're the running back, number 25. This is what you see. McMichael pass rushing, getting upfield. Fridge getting walled back inside. Make a great cut on that big, massive guy and run for daylight. I tell you what, this guy's got a little bit of star written on him.
He had to wait a long time in Alabama to get the starting role. First there was Bobby Humphrey. Then there was Ciron Stacy. He didn't get a lot of carries till last season when the Tide went the distance for the national championship. Aikman. And coming back beautifully at the ball. Aikman put it where no defender could get at it. The only man who had a play at it was the man who caught it, Michael Irvin.
You know, you talk to folks around the league, and they always say the thing about Michael Irvin, he's always open. That time for 14 yards. Basically, just push off the corner, break it out. And again, watch for Dallas trying to go over the top of Donnell now that he's getting worried again about that out. You know, cornerbacks have a lot of pride, and they don't like to get beat deep, but they don't want to give it away underneath. So it's going to be an interesting matchup all night.
Cowboys move on. First down and 10. Three-step drop. Trigger throw. It's completed again, and on the run is Michael Irvin as he's down inside the 20-yard line down to the 16.
Complete.
23-yard gain. Michael Irvin is having a season in the first half.
I'm telling you, Dave Wanstead said, I love where my defense is right now. Now, that was last night. It's not tonight. Here you see Jeremy Lincoln was pushed off so much in respect that he wasn't able to get back and square up and make the tackle before Michael Irvin could turn and face him and put a move on him. As a corner, you can only give him so much, so if they turn their back to catch the ball, you can get them before they turn back on you.
He appreciates all the good things football's brought him, Michael Irvin. He's one of 17 children. Here's a throw over the middle and down to the 11-yard line. A free ball. The Bears might have it. Alvin Harper had it and lost it. A second turnover for Chicago.
Ron Cox, the strong side linebacker, back in coverage, able to come up with it. Here you see Spellman getting upfield underneath there. Now watch 53, Dante Jones strip the ball. Great play by Dante. Now that's the kind of play that will get you on the field as a full-time starter. Here Dante just backed off into that zone and stripped, not tackled the receiver, stripped him. Ron Cox, his partner at outside linebacker, making the recovery.
But the Bears down 14-7 with 7:24 to play in the first half. Now have the long field to go as they stop what appeared to be another certain Dallas scoring drive with another turnover.
You know, if you can get a whole defense to practice that every day in practice, you'll be amazed how many turnovers you can get done. I know at the end of my career, we really started emphasizing that. And even slow fat guys like me, I stripped a couple. If you just keep tomahawk chopping, that ball's got to come out sooner or later.
It came out. The Bears have it. First down and 10. Harbaugh fires on the flat. He's got 6 out to the 19-yard line. Wendell Davis, the receiver on the play.
And immediately by Kevin Smith.
Jim Harbaugh knows that there's an awful lot of pressure on him this year. Dave Wanstead said early in the preseason, he's our guy. And I tell you what, it's been a tough transition for him. He said he's learned more in the last 6 months from Ron Turner, the offensive coordinator, than he has his entire career. It's an awful lot to throw at him.
Darren Lewis trying to cut back as the Cowboys, Dan, they're hacking at the ball too, trying to get it back. No gain on the play. Ball will be spotted at the 17-yard line. Tackler on the play was Jimmy Jones, number 97.
You know, talking about the defensive front for the Bears, they've got about 5, 6, 7 quality guys. Dallas has 8 and 9 quality guys. I mean, behind the starters, they got Jeff Code, Hennings, Casillas, Hill, and Russell Maryland. I mean, they are really deep. So far, the Bears have, Darren Lewis has rushed 4 times, no yardage. Bad sign.
Real bad. Now they've got to throw on 3rd down and 5. Harbaugh stands in, makes a good throw. It's a first down. As the rookie from Stanford, a free agent, Ryan Wetnight makes the play. 11-yard gain, and the Bears have their first down.
Wetnight is a rookie tight end from Stanford, and it looks like he learned an awful lot about the nuances of the passing game from Bill Walsh. Here, he puts the safety on his pocket and spins off of him to make the completion. Here, Haley taking it inside, gets a little help there from Bortzi. They ran a little twist. Bear offensive line did a great job picking it up.
So the Bears with their first down from the offense. An 11-yard pass play. Harbaugh, as a penalty marker is thrown, delivers the ball downfield for a short gain if the play goes. We'll hear the referee now. Marker down in the Bears backfield could be holding against Chicago.
Looks like Charles Haley's down over here.
Hit first by Everett.
Holding against Chicago. Haley down at the 24-yard line. This is the former San Francisco 49er who was deemed difficult to get along with. Cowboys got him. I'll tell you, there wasn't a better defensive lineman in football at the end of last season.
I'll tell you what, he was so effective rushing off this corner right here. Auzine taking the inside away, keeping those hands off of his, doing a good job, pokes him in the eye is what the problem is there. I'll tell you what, Troy Auzine, I thought, had a super season for a rookie last year. There's an awful lot of pressure on him, but he needs to make another step. He can become one of the finer left tackles in the league, but he's got to be a little bit more confident about keeping that inside rush shut down. They're doing a great job of maybe one of the best 2 or 3 guys in the league rushing the passer. Always helps if you poke him in the eye, too. You know, that slows it down pretty quick.
And they had Darren Lewis in to block as a second line of defense. He stayed in. They're showing a lot of respect for Haley, who's off the field right now. And first down and 20 now comes up for the Bears. A tough play call. The Dallas pass rush will be coming and coming hard. Hayward, 290 pounds of fullback, splits a couple of linebackers and gets ahead for about 8 yards. Robert Jones and Dixon Edwards, 2 of the backers, made the stop on the biggest fullback in the game.
Well, you know, just like Fridge, this guy is an amazing all-around athlete. Now, I mean that as no pun intended, right? All-around athlete. He can catch, he can kick, he can throw the ball, he can snap it. Last week, rushing for 65 yards against his old team, the Saints, mainly from the tailback position in the Rhino backfield. That one went, it was a completion for 12 yards. Great play for the big man.
Greg Hayward with the girth of an alderman, still able to run fast. He runs an out pattern. Here's the throw to Waddle. He's ahead, and the Bears had a couple of big plays and a first down.
But Tommy Waddle, healthy again. He's had a little bit of a hamstring problem. Listen to the crowd. They love this guy here. He is every man that wanted to play the game of football and was told they couldn't. They see themselves in Tom Waddle. Cut at least 150 times, and yet he is a hero in this town because he has a heart besides of this stadium. Great pattern and great reception for Tom Waddle.
Danny was actually cut 2 times in 1989. Cut again in 90, cut in 91, left unprotected.
Okay, 300.
All he does is make plays.
Hey, once you're cut once, it's enough. You never want to do it again.
Downfield throw against the blitz. That was well done by Harbaugh, but the receiver couldn't get to it, but he outthrew the coverage also. Robert Jones coming on a middle linebacker blitz, and Wendell Davis was running deep. Tom Waddle's father-in-law was a great professional football player in the American Football League. Gino Cappelletti of the Patriots, and he was the same kind of a receiver and also a high-scoring place kicker.
Well, last year I did, I think, 3 New England games, and every time Mr. Cappelletti would come up, how is Tommy doing? I said, hey, let me tell you something. In a couple of years, they'll be saying, Mike Ditka who? I tell you what, this guy was the star of the team last year in a dismal year. He's a bright spot.
2nd and 10. They'll be looking again at him. Not fast, but he gets open. Here's the run, and Darren Lewis is ahead for about 3 yards. Tom Waddle comes out of the famed Moeller High School football program in Cincinnati. Originally brought to the fore by Jerry Faust.
You know, the thing about Waddle that I think is so great is he's not that fast, they say, but he's sneaky fast. How can he run away from these cornerbacks and be open time after time after time? You know, last year it was almost like Third down, what are we going to do? Let's throw it to Waddle. It's like when you're a kid and you say, just the best guy you got, go down and run behind the Buick. I'll get it to you. That was Tom Waddle for the Bears last year.
They might be going to him again here. It's third down. Bears need 7. Harbaugh, deep ball, too high. And good coverage by Dallas. Wendell Davis turns out. Kevin Smith, the left side corner, number 26, drilled him as the ball came in. So a well done play by the defense as Harbaugh had to hurry his throw and couldn't hit the open man. Davis was open for a moment, and the Bears will punt again with 2:38 to play in the first half. There's Kevin Williams, the deep man, waiting Gardaki's punt. Williams took off without the ball, trying to trick the Bears into I don't know what. They down the ball at the 16-yard line. And that's where Dallas will go on offense in a moment.
The end of the model year is the smart time of the year to buy a new Ford Taurus. The 94 Tauruses are coming, and now's the time to save big on all remaining 1993s. For a limited time, you can get low 3.9% factory financing for 48 months on America's #1 selling car. Or choose $1,000 cash back direct from Ford. All before your best model.
The Cowboys with twice as many points and 3 times as many yards as the Chicago Bears here in the first half. Don Criqui with Dan Hampton. The Bears, Dan, still without a first half touchdown in the preseason. Not good.
That's not good. And, you know, Jim Harbaugh knows there's an awful lot of pressure on him going into the opener if they don't get the ball back. 4 games, 4 first halves, no touchdowns. That's not the way you want to build confidence if you're the quarterback.
Now he's got the long field to go as the ball is positioned at the 16-yard line. Troy Aikman setting his team up. He's had long drives all night, though. Actually, its total yards is almost 5-1. Aikman standing in amidst a lot of danger, and he swings it out. Eric Gaynor catches the ball and doesn't go far and stops the clock with 2:20 to go in the half.
Jeremy Lincoln, the cornerback, who was really starting to come around there, did a real good job of adjusting. He saw that his guy was not going to get the ball. The quarterback was in trouble. He turns and breaks up, forcing the ball carrier that did get it out of bounds. Now that's a real quick shifting of the gears that you have to learn. You can't teach it. You've got to learn it on the field. He's doing a lot better, making big strides this preseason.
The lower portion of the screen, Donnell Wilford still coming up tight on Irvin. Long ball downfield.
Whoa, there's a flag down in it. It looked like Michael Irvin stiff-armed Jeremy Lincoln off right at the last second.
Yeah, they talk about how Irvin's so physical, and because he does it virtually every play, uses the shove move and the shirt grab or whatever it takes to get free, he often doesn't get called.
Well, I tell you what, guys that have an awful lot of success.
Offensive pass interference, number 88, 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
Like he and Jerry Rice, they can get away with an awful lot. Here, look at him pushing off, creating their separation, then going for the. I tell you what, it was a great call by the official, good coverage by Jeremy Lincoln. But let me tell you something, that's a guy that just wants to play the game the right way. He's doing everything he can to get the ball. You gotta love a guy like that.
And Lincoln has had a good summer. If there's anything good that's come out of Anthony Blaylock having a hamstring problem, it's been the playing time that number 39 Jeremy Lincoln's got. He's a first-year player from Tennessee, drafted in the 3rd round last year, practice squad player, former All-Southeastern Conference player. Blaylock, they really think is outstanding. A free agent who is the starting right corner for the Bears when he's back and ready to go, which could be against the Giants in the opener. Now the 2-minute warning is given. Michael Irvin on the sidelines. He was the first man in the end zone tonight.
Good news.
On Channel 5. Aikman. Good as you can get on 3rd down. Or almost. And now he sees something in the deep defense he didn't like. With 3rd down 11 coming up, he calls a timeout.
Well, what happened, he comes up, he did not like the coverage. He's got 10 yards to go, and a lot of times 10 yards is a breakover from an intermediate to a long pattern, and I don't think he really felt comfortable with the routes that he had called. Obviously, Wanstead reading the mind of North Turner there, knowing that he wanted to go to a certain pattern, making an adjustment with his defensive scheme. Now he's going to have to counter with something. But if I'm Jim Harbaugh, I'm right there telling Jim Schwantz, hey, stop him. I want to get back on the field one more time. It's very important that the defense gives the offense one more chance at a pretty good shot at the end zone.
Ache, they call him on the Dallas team.
I tell you what, he's a big ache to anybody that plays against him.
First year he was the QB in that 1-15 year. In the Dallas Cowboys' last 26 games, dating back to the last 2 seasons, they are 22-4.
I guess would his father be headache?
Here they go. They go back to the run. Derek Gainer, he doesn't get much but a load of Chicago Bears. Jim Schwantz popped him. Also on the tackle was the strong safety Sean Gale. Schwantz, a former Purdue Boilermaker, who has stood out on special teams and appears to have made the team.
Looks like they had 6 DBs and they wanted to go with a trap play. Bears doing a good job adjusting to it and sniffing it out.
Now Terry Obie back deep for Chicago. John Jett on the field to punt for Dallas with 1:53 seconds to play in the first half. Now we have an official timeout.
Looks like Richard Dent called a timeout as soon as they had the ball carrier down on the ground.
Yeah, the Bears will have time to work here with the punter John Jett on the field. You see Bears still with 2 timeouts. Last year, 2 seasons, the Cowboys have beaten the Bears in the regular season. One last year at Irving, Texas, 27-14. One in 91, 17-13.
Bears have the block formation on. Looks like they're going to come after it again. No, it's a return.
What a hit by John Jett. He put a jet stream on that ball, and there at the return is Obie out to the 37-yard line. So Harbaugh on the offense now coming out with a first down and 10. 1:41 to play in the first half, and the ball will be positioned at the Chicago Bears 37-yard line. Jim Harbaugh, former Big Ten MVP at Michigan.
Well, everybody knows that Neil Anderson is on a little bit of a hiatus with that bad hamstring, but still, the Bears have a great offensive structure here. It's the same thing as the Cowboys. Last year, they never really ranked worse than 8. Most of the year in the top 5. For them not to have scored a first half touchdown tells me they're really having a hard time adapting to this new scheme of offense.
Harbaugh looking to put it downfield. A big rush. He gets away from it. Throws it straight ahead. He might have thrown it to the wrong guy. The middle linebacker, Robert Jones, tried to pitch the ball ahead. So Bears really going to a bag of tricks trying to get something going here. That was a desperation play, certainly not a called one.
Well, Second City improv there.
Illegal forward pass. That's expensive. They lost it down.
Illegal forward pass beyond the line of scrimmage.
Again, the pressure of Dallas. Watching them here. Big let coming inside boards. Missing a sure sack. There, Jeffco falling back inside. Harbaugh just trying to...
5-yard penalty. Lost it down. Second down.
5-yard penalty and lost it down. So the ball is positioned now back at the 32-yard line of the Bears.
The penalty.
You know, talking with Dave Wanstead yesterday, he said all the things we have that's gone wrong, we feel we can correct except the offense. We got to score. That's why it's so important.
Harbaugh gets max protection and gets the ball away. Makes the connection. Terry Obie, who had a tremendous game Monday night at New Orleans when he caught 4 passes for over 100 yards and a touchdown, makes the play on an out pattern and stops the clock with after the catch.
Jim Harbaugh signed a big contract, but let me tell you something. He earns it. Right there, about 600 pounds coming at him, and he stepped in against it. Threw it off his front foot. Look at that. Tell you what, the guy has the heart of a warrior right there, going ahead and completing that pass when it looked like it was a sure sack, or at least a hurried pass out of bounds.
There was a late flag on the play, and they're going to call the Bears. One Cowboy, Ken Norton, is saying there's a pass interference call against Dallas. got to take the yardage. It's about a 14-yard gain. Play went. It was a catch by Terry Obie. Let's see now. The official gives us the ruling where the ball will be positioned with 1:25 to play in the first half.
Illegal use of the hands, defense, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, first down.
The Bears get an automatic first down. So Harbaugh back in the huddle, looking to find a way to get the ball downfield. Wendell Davis goes wide to the top of your screen. 2 wideouts to the near side. The Bears' top draft choice, Curtis Conway, the fastest Bear being held out of this game. His ankle is much improved. He'll start against the Giants. Here's Bob Christian straight ahead. He's out to the 47-yard line. Another penalty markers down.
Well, Jimmy Jones took Jerry Fontenot right back to the quarterback.
The Cowboys.
Looks like they hit him in the head after the throw.
Every time there's a penalty against a Cowboy signals what it is and then points against his team.
Personal foul. Defense number 97.
That's what it was.
Ahead on the
Jimmy
quarterback.
Jones grabbed a
15
face
yards.
mask.
Fontenot taking the stand here, taking him, trying to get some kind of a stop on him. Here you see him go ahead and hit Harbaugh across the head and then try to pull him down by the face mask. Jimmy Jones is a good player, but there's no room in the game for that.
Well, the Bears in various and peculiar ways are advancing the ball downfield and not using much time. That only took 7 seconds, and they have the ball down to the 38-yard line of Dallas.
Gotta love it.
Chicago trailing the Cowboys 14-7. Harbaugh gets a lot of time, releases the ball. Obie's after it. He's got it. Touchdown, Obie. Ruling out of bounds. He did make the catch, but both feet weren't in.
We just talked about how big of an adjustment this offense is. They haven't really grew into it yet. It was great protection, great throw, great pattern. What's wrong? 1 foot is out of bounds by just a, oh, he kicked the piling. He kicked the piling and drugged his feet out of bounds. Oh, I tell you what, that's how close it is between winning and losing in the NFL. And I tell you what, that couldn't do it much better than that except just get the feet in.
Only 2 plays in Dallas territory tonight. Here's a third. Throw to Bob Christian, heading for the sideline. And he works his way out of bounds as Chris Hall, a defensive back, 38, rode him out of bounds. But the Bears offense seems to have more rhythm and pace to it now.
It really does. And I tell you what, that was a great move by Bob Christian, a guy that has already made the club. He will be a big part of the special teams, and he's a very valuable guy in the backfield. He can block, he can run those little patterns. But right there, knowing to get out of bounds. A lot of guys that turn upfield and fight and struggle trying to make an extra yard. He knows he's got enough, just get out of bounds, stop the clock, give his quarterback another shot.
Bears have only converted 1 of 5 previous third down attempts. Here's an all-out rush and a great play by Harbaugh. He gets the ball ahead to Darren Lewis. We'll see where the spot is made. Clock is ticking. 55-54 left to go. Harbaugh trying to bring his team quickly into now. They get an official timeout. And the Bears call one. Call a brief official one to mark the ball.
Well, this is an if blitz. Harbaugh has seen this against his own team. Here, look to him to the right. He sees the blitz by Norton, the linebacker, knows if he gets a side adjustment by Darren Lewis, he'll go right in behind where that linebacker was. It's a gimme play. Look at Harbaugh. Hey, he's blitzing. I'm going to dump it right over where he came from. The safety has to make a great play to keep it from being a first down. Darren Lewis making a great side adjustment to get the first.
And the yardage, Dan, just enough for a Chicago first down. Now the Bears down to 1 timeout. First down, 55 seconds.
Great recognition by Jim Harbaugh and great side adjustment by the back. Now that's the thing, you can't get it in a week or 3 weeks. It takes time to do that. We saw Dallas struggle 4 years ago with this offense, and we saw what they can do tonight. It will take time, but the Bears are showing that they're starting to pick it up. It looks like Tom Waddle back inside in the slot. He's isolated on a safety. Watch Harbaugh looking on his right side.
Waddle's the second receiver down from the top of your screen. Run the draw. Christian powers his way down inside the 25-yard line. ball down to about the 23. Here it would be a 50-yard field goal attempt. Clock still running. You see it ticking down. 2nd down and 5. Looking deep. The good thing that Harbaugh was able to trigger it too far in front. His receiver had fallen down, Terry Obie, on an out pattern. And it was very nearly in the hands of a Cowboy. Clock stops with 28 seconds to go in the half.
A lot of the reasons those out patterns are hard for the Bears tonight is because they haven't done anything to run those corners off. Those corners are really crowding. They're playing up there in a squat position. They're not giving that big cushion that the Bear corners are giving the Dallas receivers out of respect. It's going to be a very risky play until they start letting those receivers push those corners back.
Big down now. They've got to convert this or try a long field goal. Be a 50-yarder from where they are. Harbaugh on the run. He has the first down and more as he dives down to the 14-yard line. Bears had better call a timeout. They're down to 16-7. They're going to get into. He's just going to throw the ball down if they ever get people in alignment. He'll probably stop the clock. He does. Sure of the wisdom of that. Now you have to wonder, Dan, if he's got enough time for another play before.
Exactly. With 7 seconds, he calls timeout. He can throw it twice, possibly.
Better do it real fast. Yeah,
and this has got to be in the end zone or an out pattern.
That's not going to be either. Butler's out.
There we go. There we go.
Dave Wannstedt, in our meeting with him yesterday, was talking about he expects the whole season to be the same as the preseason, a battle down to the wire every week. He said hopefully we'll be on the long end more often than we've been so far. The Bears hanging in after it looked like the Cowboys would blow them out. A good kick by Kevin Butler. He needed that as much as the Bears did, and with 3 seconds left, Chicago inches closer, now trailing the world champion Cowboys 14-10. And Harbaugh, Dan, with a real good drive.
Well, I know that Jim Harbaugh would love to have had a touchdown there, but the clock ran out on him. I really believe that they had a very strong will to get it down there. Now, you know, it's easy to say, oh, I want to score. But I tell you what, the offense did what it had to do to advance the ball down the field and get that field goal. Now, Harbaugh will probably not play anymore tonight. But the thing is, I really see some signs, Don, of them picking up some of the nuances. The side adjustment by the backs, the receivers being able to break the patterns off away from coverage. Those are the things that it takes time to develop. Harbaugh's learning just like everybody else, and they're showing some more bright spots in the darkness.
As in the background, the refrains of Bear Down, Chicago Bears plays.
Bear down. Excuse me.
Bear Down, Chicago Bears, the pride and joy of Illinois. You've sung that many times, huh?
I'm sure.
Particularly in '85.
I'm sure.
Let's take a quick look at our Ford scoring drive. And a very well executed one as the Bears get it down close. And then Butler, who struggled, he's only 1 for 5 outside the 30-yard line in field goal attempts in the preseason. Hits a 32-yarder to bring Chicago back to within 4. Ground ball hit downfield.
Russell Maryland.
Field on the one hop by Russell Maryland, a distinguished Chicagoan from Whitney Young High School. And now the first half gun sounds, and that will do it. 14-10. The Cowboys lead at the half, and we go down to Mark Giangreco. Mark?
Well, Don, coming up at halftime, we'll take you back to the NBC Tower for all today's news, weather, and sports. John Kelly will have all the scores and highlights, including, thank you, Tom, the White Sox doubleheader over at Comiskey Park. And I'll have a conversation with Bears president Mike McCaskey. Is he going to break down and hire a general manager? Well, stay tuned. This is Chicago Bears preseason football live on Channel 5.
Silver bullet summer. This is all you need to know.
Hi, I'm Sport Marty, and I'll make sure you find what you need at Sport Mart for back to school, like shoes. We've got your brand, your style, your size. And if not, we'll order them. Hey, we have shoe experts to help you.
Sport Mart has the Reebok crossover basketball shoes for men with lightweight skeletal outsole and Graphite for maximum support and stability. And get $5 off a new pair of shoes if you bring in an old wearable pair for the needy.
So for all your back-to-school needs, get the Sport Mart Advantage.
You'll find what you're looking for at Sport Mart.
This summer, NBC has your passport to a great escape. Take the trade winds to the tropical island of St. Martin. Two young lovers risk their lives to be together when a mysterious tragedy turns one family against the other. A steamy love affair, a fantasy adventure, and a deadly power struggle. Take the great escape with Trade Winds.
Saturday at 8 on Channel 5.
Hi, everybody. John Kelly at the NBC Tower. It's halftime over at Soldier Field where the Bears trail the Cowboys 14-10. And the key for the Bears in this game was to be more consistent on offense. They wanted to try to get some things and points on the board. Well, they have been consistent, but unfortunately, the Bears have been consistently punting the ball. Now, the Bears' final preseason game before kicking off the ones that really count, and it looks like they may start up the regular season still looking for their first win under Dave Wanstead. We go over to check it out. The Cowboys strike early in this one. First quarter, Troy Aikman looks and finds Michael Irvin. That's a 42-yard hookup, and Dallas goes up 7-0. Now they build on that lead in the second quarter, this time some short yardage. Goal to go, Derek Lassick cashes in, and the Bears down by 2 touchdowns. Now the only TD for the Bears in the first half comes compliments of special teams. Keshawn Johnson snuffs it out. And look at Bob Christian, the Northwestern alumni. He scoops it up, goes the opposite way. Christian scores. Now Kevin Butler chips in a late field goal in the half, and that's how it stands right now. The Bears trail 14-10 at the intermission. Well, the first place White Sox in action tonight, working on taking a doubleheader from Minnesota. We go over to Comiskey Park. Game 1, Bo Jackson. He rocks the joint, muscles up on his 12th homer of the year. That's a monster shot, about 460 feet. They win Game 1, 7-3. In Game 2, this time, the Deacon. Warren Newsom brings the wood. That's a solo shot in the 4th. Game 2 right now in the 7th inning, and it is tied at 2-all. We check in now with Carol Marine for the Day in News. Carol?
John, he waited 127 days. Tonight, a baby named Sam is a new heart. Doctors say Sam Taylor is in critical but stable condition after receiving a heart transplant. Meantime, in a courtroom in Michigan, a death wish. A video is played from Dr. Jack Kevorkian's most recent assisted suicide. Plus, these Chicagoans are heading to relive a 3-decades-old dream, the March on Washington. We'll have all of those stories and more on the Channel 5 News after the game. John?
Okay, thank you very much. And that's all for now. The Bears once again trailing the Cowboys 14-10. Don't expect to see the starters back in the second half, and we'll be back after the game with highlights and details. Stay tuned. Don, Dan, and Mark back in a moment with the second half.
The end of the model year is the smart time of the year to buy a new Ford because the 94s are coming, and now's the time to save big on all remaining 1993s. For a limited time, get 3.9% factory financing or $1,000 cash back on Ford Aerostar. Get $1,300 savings on America's #1 selling truck, the Ford F-150, or drive home $1,900 savings on everybody's favorite Ford Explorer. Get great model year-end savings all before you make your best deal, but you've got to hurry. See your local Ford dealer today.
Mass transportation was revolutionized by the jet engine, vision by the contact lens, TV by the satellite dish, sound by the compact disc. And now cellular communications has been revolutionized by the digital phone. You can experience the digital cellular phone's uncluttered, unrivaled sound today, only at authorized Cellular One sales and service centers. The revolutionary digital phone. In other ways, Cellular One goes beyond the call.
Close your eyes. Imagine the perfect weekend. Would it have entertainment? No peeking. Travel? Puttering around the house? Sports? All that? Okay, go ahead and open them. Now get the perfect weekend delivered. Friday, Saturday, and the Sunday Sun-Times, all for the price of the other Sunday paper. Just call 1-800-945-5000. Why go through half the weekend with your eyes closed? The Chicago Sun-Times. Smart choice.
Welcome back live to Soldier Field. The 66,000 plus here a little restless when the Bears settled for that field goal to end the half, but it was a nice drive. And Dave Wannstedt went running off, clenching his fist, saying, finally, we've got something to talk about at halftime. We can work with this. So he's somewhat pleased with the results of the first half, especially the end of the second quarter. The Bears trailing the world champion Cowboys 14-10. Now, before tonight's game, I had a chance to sit down and talk with Bears president Mike McCaskey. Well, I heard that. Give the guy a chance, okay? McCaskey says, look, I just want to rebuild this club my way, and I just want to win. And he says he really doesn't care if he is the man that Chicago Bear fans love to hate. Michael McCaskey, the state of the Bears, 1993, with a brand new head coach, a new coaching staff. And I want you to define your role now, because there is an incredible perception around town that you're calling all the shots and you're enjoying every minute of it, huh?
That perception is only around because you keep saying it.
Okay.
Not true. I'm the president and CEO, and that means I hire and fire the head coach, and I choose the key people who make up the top management team for the Bears. Ted Phillips and Rod Graves and the rest of the gang.
Okay, now the triumvirate of you, Rod Graves, and Dave Wannstedt talk about trades, talk about the waiver wire and so forth. Don't you need a general manager to be the liaison? Do you need a football guy, or are you the general manager?
I'm not the general manager. It's like looking for the tight end in a run-and-shoot offense. There's just a different way to organize the structure of a team. Some teams have general managers, others do not. We've got the football knowledge in Dave Wannstedt and Rod Graves. And then if we need more depth in scouting or in coaching, there are other people in the organization who have that.
Do you think to have any kind of success in Dave Wannstedt's first year that you have to perfect the system and plug players in who can play in that system, or do you just have to go out and get some great athletes and let them go?
You always need great athletes, but the new system will be terribly important. At Dallas, Dave ran the #1 defense in the NFL. He had no all-pros on that. Now, we're going to continue to look for all-pros because it makes the job easier on defense and on offense. You always need great players.
Let me lump you in for a moment with Bill Wirtz and Jerry Reinsdorf. Being an owner has a lot of baggage, and it's a no-win situation for you. If the Bears are successful, it's the coaching staff and the players. If they're not successful, it's your fault, right?
That's right.
Now, how do you feel?
So what's new about that?
Yeah, nothing. But how do you feel about your public perception now? Is it improved, or has it gotten worse?
I think it's improved just marginally. The big thing is to win football games, and everything else is on hold until this team shows what it can do. I am very confident that Dave Wannstedt was an excellent choice to be head coach of the Bears. I really enjoy working with him. I think he's chosen excellent assistant coaches to help him out, and we're working fine together. I think that the players are improving week by week, and that's going to show up well as the season unfolds.
Michael, thank you.
You betcha.
Bears president Michael McCaskey, you know he's going to give Dave Wannstedt a lot of rope and a lot of time to turn this franchise around. Now with more first half impressions, let's go back upstairs to Don Criqui and Dan Hampton.
Thank you, Mark. It'll be interesting, Dan, if Chicago starts to work trades like Jimmy Johnson did when he went to Dallas. The waiver wire will be active, and so will the phones. Jimmy Johnson, when he made that deal that brought John Roper and those other Bears, Kelly Blackwell, Marcus Paul down to Dallas, that was the 49th trade he's been involved in since he's been there.
Well, hey, they're not scared of the home shopping network either. They can make some moves. But I think the thing is, Dallas has given the Bears their best shot thus far, and they've hung in there 10-14. The Bears are still in this week. Wannstedt closed practice. He really wants to win this game and get out of here with a victory. Now, if he has to make some moves next week and get some more guys, then he'll do it then. But right now, he wants to make some adjustments, get in this game, and pull out a win.
Well, as he said, one of the things that he expects from his team is games down to the wire. Every week. He might have one tonight when it looked at the outset like the Cowboys were going to blow out the Bears. Let's go back down to Mark.
All right, Don, Dave Wannstedt running out with the team just gave me a wink. I said, you're going to open up in the second half. He just smiled. He said, I'm sticking with what I planned all the way in. So he seems to be somewhat pleased with what's going on right now. We'll be back with much more in a moment. Stay with us. This is Chicago Bears preseason football live on Channel 5.
Good news. J.D. Power and Associates ranked 4 Toyota models among the top 10 models in initial quality. And the good news gets better. It's year-end clearance at Toyota dealers. And that means great deals, even on Camry, the best car built in America. But there's more. Toyota dealers have to make room for 94 models, so get a 93 Corolla, the best Corolla ever, for just $179 a month. So come to your Toyota dealer and see all the good news. But hurry, good news travels fast.
When they told him he didn't have the size to play, he reached inside and found the power. Starter. He was from a small school in a small town, but he had the heart to make it big. Starter. Each had a dream, and when you start with a dream, where you end up is up to you. Starter.
The year is 2018, and this is Sequest, the most powerful submarine ever created. 1,000 feet of sleek black titanium designed to maintain world peace. Its captain, a man of science, but also a man of compassion.
Hey, kid, good work.
Its crew, the best the future has, and the most unusual. The Sequest, a peacekeeper. Just don't push her too far.
Fire.
Beneath the surface lies the future. Sequest, coming to NBC this fall.
The first half numbers, the Bears unable to run the ball against Dallas in the first half, but their passing yardage picked up in the second quarter. And as Dave Wanstead pointed out to us, Dan, he said his main concern at this point in the preseason, late in the preseason, was his kicking game. And that was good that Kevin Butler was able to hit first a long extra point because there was a penalty on the first drive, and then the field goal at the close of the half.
Well, that's the mark of a young team that's hungry. They'll find a way to get in a ball game and have a chance to win late. Now, the first 3 preseason games, they haven't lost any of the 3 by more than 6. They're right where they want to be. Now they've got to get their offense untracked and get some more points.
Bears will have the ball to start the third quarter. Lynn Elliott ready to kick the ball. We'll be seeing a lot of new people for the Bears in the second half. Probably a lot of Mark Green, the running back, who they're looking for things from. And, of course, from P.T. Willis, who has that quarterback rating of 115.8. Here come the Bears, taking the ball downfield as they run it right up the middle. Gary Obie.
From 2 yards deep in his zip code.
And here's the new QB, P.T. Willis, as you look at his passing numbers so far in the preseason, 17 to 25. He got the starting job for a while last year, didn't he, Dan?
Well, he did. He started 2 games. The offense had really lost confidence. The team really wasn't performing. P.T. didn't play that badly. But he's a guy that you're not worried about. And I tell you what, a lot of folks like the way he looks in the pocket.
That pocket has been breaking down fast. He gets some time here and throws it away.
I tell you, that was out of respect for those guys with the stars in their helmet. He saw Jim Harbaugh have about 2.5 seconds on the average in the first half. He counted 1, 2, I better throw. And he got rid of it a little bit early before the pattern developed.
There are some new defensive linemen in now for the Cowboys. Chad Hennings, number 95, the former Air Force pilot, who was an Outland Trophy winner at the Air Force Academy. He's in there. So is Tony Casillas. Mark Green gets the carry on 2nd down and 10 and works ahead for maybe 2 yards.
Well, what the Bears want to do on offense in the running game is get their big guys to get movement. Now you'll see a double team on Chad Hennings, the big left tackle. Now watch the center and the left guard try to get him stood up and get some movement. Now a smart linebacker knows when somebody's doubled, it's coming there. He forces it in the backfield. Now that's just disciplined defensive play by Cowboys.
Christian in the backfield. 3rd down and 8. 4 flood wide receivers, 3 to the left. Trips formation left. Here's a throw over the middle to the wrong guy. As on the run come the Dallas Cowboys. Brock Marion, number 31, with the pickoff. So Peter Tom Willis off the mark on his first throw into the arms of a Dallas defender on his second.
Well, this will kill a quarterback's rating quicker than anything. Here he sees the pocket breaking down. Chad Hennings unloads on him, throws it right into the waiting arms of a breaking cornerback underneath. 95 right there on the left side of Mirko Jerkovic, just runs by him with an old power swim and butts PT down. Like I said, that ruins a rating pretty quick right there, Don.
And even worse, with the turnover count now even at 2 each, it puts Dallas in scoring position as soon as they get the ball. Hugh Millen is in at quarterback for the Cowboys to open the third quarter after the excellent work by Aikman. He gives to Lincoln Coleman, who played an indoor football in Dallas. A lot of the Cowboys went to see some of the games and told Jimmy Johnson you had to take a look at Lincoln Coleman. Pretty good, so he's stuck so far in camp. Hugh Millen, who was with the Patriots last season.
I'll tell you one thing about Hugh Millen. He's a tough guy. He played an awful lot of games last year with his shoulder bone up out of the socket. What he doesn't get on the field with smarts, he makes up with toughness.
Straight ahead give. Lincoln Coleman gets the carry on a 2nd down and 6 play, and he is close to the 12-yard line. The remarkable ascent of the Dallas Cowboys. In '89, 1-15, 1 win. First year for Jimmy Johnson. The next year 7 wins. The next year 11 wins. Last year 16 wins, and look at the ring he's wearing because of it. His flash net last night.
A lot of people are trying to emulate the Cowboys' sudden rise to prominence, but remember, the first year was 1-15. I don't think I want to emulate that.
16 wins, 13-3 in the regular season, and 3-0 in the playoffs. Back to the run, straight ahead power. They give Lincoln Coleman a long look here in the third quarter, and he is ahead for what appears to be a first down.
We're going to get a look at a couple of guys that the Bears traded for. A linebacker by the name of Vincent Smith, number 55, playing in the middle. Now, what they want to do is get him more familiar with this defense as a middle linebacker. He started the last couple of years in Dallas on the outside. They love the way he has an impact. Last week, 14 plays, 6 tackles. He's very active.
Lincoln Coleman down to the 8. First down and 10 carry, and he's ahead for about 2. Matt Goodwin, a defensive back, and Mo Douglas were on the stop for the Bears.
Also in the game is Myron Baker, a rookie that they really like on the strong side, a young guy from Louisiana Tech that they think has a very, very bright future here.
He's definitely made the team, Myron Baker. Backup middle linebacker to Donnie Jones. Back pedal by Millen, throw in the flat. And down close to the goal line, but not in, is Derek Gaynor. And there's also a penalty marker down on the play.
It could have been holding on Fridge. He got a great, no, it looks like it is. Offensive interference on the Cowboys. Fridge getting a great surge there.
Fridge is lumbering off right now. Great part of that championship year, wasn't he? In '85, he was a rookie.
Well, he was a rookie, and by the end of the year, of course, everyone knows he was a pretty good defensive tackle, making an awful lot of plays for us in the middle, but he gained national prominence running the ball. Now they got another guy about 300 pounds trying to run the ball in Ironhead. I tell you what, it must be indigenous to Chicago, big backs.
2nd and 17, they put the quicker Zorich in. Here's a throw in the flat. A little bit too much on it by Millen, who's not had a good preseason. And there's really been some pressure put on him by a free agent from Princeton, Jason Garrett, who we'll probably see in the fourth quarter, who has tremendous passing numbers in the preseason. But then again, he's been doing it in the second half against a lot of free agents oftentimes.
Well, it's pretty easy to look good against, as a third-string quarterback against a third-team defensive back or a third-team pass rush. But again, Dallas really is high on this young man right here. They feel like if they had to start the season now, he would probably be the second-team quarterback.
3rd and 17. And the Bears come on a safety blitz. Mo Douglas.
Mo Douglas lined up on the slot receiver. Blitzes right from your living room. Watch him here, turning the corner, getting the first sack of the evening for the Bears. Now, that's the way you stop a quality offense, is you put pressure on the man with the ball. Great job by Mo coming off the corner, staying unblocked.
Now a long field goal try by Lynn Elliott, a 46-yarder. Wide to left. So the Bears hold after the turnover They keep Jimmy Johnson's Cowboys from getting points. And with Dallas leading the game 14-10, the Bears are ready to take over on offense. 14-10. Cowboys lead, third quarter. Lynn Elliott just missing a long field goal try. He struggled somewhat recently for the Dallas Cowboys as the Bears go to the run, and Bob Christian takes it down out to the 29. Here's Lynn Elliott. Made just 1 of 8 field goals from longer than 30 yards in the preseason.
I don't know if I'd be shopping for a condo yet, knowing Jimmy Johnson.
This is a very important time for a lot of the people in the Chicago Bear and Dallas Cowboy organizations, as final cutdowns will be coming up next week. Here's a throw to Christian over the middle. Well-timed throw on a crossing pattern as Christian swung out of the backfield. Covered by Bobby Abrams, and who made the tackle. Willis not afraid to go deep. He'll stand in and launch it. Dave Wannstedt's main mandate to his quarterbacks in this Dallas Cowboy offense that they're employing now in Chicago: get rid of the ball quickly.
Well, that's the key. It's a lot of 3- and 5-step drops, get back, and a lot of times they'll utilize a short intermediate game as a running game. If the running game's not going, dump it to a back, let him make 4 or 5. At least you're in 2nd and 5 instead of 2nd and 10.
On 3rd and 3, P.T. Willis throws. Same guy, same play. First down Bears as they're out to the 40-yard line.
I am so impressed by Bob Christian. Earlier we saw him get out of bounds when he had to. There he knew exactly where the marker was, made the completion, and then was knocked backwards. We talked about how P.T. will stand in against the rush. Dallas coming at him. Watch him here, standing in, taking a shot there for number 79 before he goes down. Number 79, of course, is not on our roster.
As a senior for the Northwestern Wildcats, Bob Christian rushed for 294 yards in 1 game. Actually, total yardage rushing and receiving as Mark Green, the 5th-year running back from Notre Dame, fighting to make the club, delivers a big play for the Bears. It's a first down.
That was the longest run from scrimmage of 14 yards for the Bears tonight. And that's what you look for in a running back, a guy that can stretch it. Instead of getting 3 and 5, get a guy that can go for 14. And that's what Neil Anderson always brought. He didn't bring a lot of 12, 15-yard runs to the table. Here, Mark Green slashing through the hole, accelerating through before it closes, making some good yardage.
That's the longest run of the preseason for the Bears. A 14-yarder by Mark Green. This time they catch him at the line of scrimmage. Green, out of Long Beach, California, was the #1 rated high school defensive back in the country. When he got to Notre Dame, Jerry Faust made him a running back.
Well, I tell you what he brings is that quickness. You know, you got Ironhead and you got Christian and you got Darren Lewis. They're big, strong guys. But you need somebody that can squirt through that hole before those big bodies close it. And that's what Mark Green does. Now, I tell you what, he is fighting for his life tonight. He loves playing for Chicago. He's going to lay it on the line and show them that he can be a guy that can get those big yardage totals when he has to.
Green's problem is the opposite of the Fridges. Mark Green can't gain weight. Highest he can get to, no matter how much he eats, is 195. He's never hit 200. This time, Green coming out of the backfield. Makes a play on the ball, makes Cowboys missed, and gets ahead down to the 36.
That time, Mark Green lines up out in the slot. Number 31 there in the center. Runs a little square off, knowing it'll be a while before the defender gets there. Make a move. He makes a great move on number 59, the outside linebacker, Darren Smith, making the first down. No, it'll be just inches short, but still. That's the kind of potential he has. He can get out in space and make something happen with being, being a nifty little guy instead of a pounder.
So Mark Green, knowing that his job as a Chicago Bear could be on the line tonight, delivers another big play. Here are penalty markers down as Christian on a power slant runs right into Tony Tolbert, a defensive end for the Cowboys.
Looks like Jim Jeffcoat jumped.
Tackled by Roper. A flag on the play.
Looks like 77 Jeffco. Now, here's a guy that's been around 11 years. You wouldn't think he would jump off the sides like that. It's got to be pretty hot down there, Donna. It's pretty easy to lose composure.
Well, it's weight to some of these 300-pound guys losing a game like this.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've heard stories of Fridge when he was about 350, losing somewhat 30 pounds in a practice. 10% of his body weight.
Managed to get it back, though.
It wasn't that hard.
Bears drive on. Here's the rush. And quickly, Peter Tom Willis runs out of time. We just hope that he'll be able to pop up after that play. He really took a shot from the former Bear, John Roper.
We saw Vincent Smith earlier, number 55. Now here's what we got in return. Number 55 for Dallas, John Roper. This is what he does best. Go for the quarterback. He's a blitzing type of linebacker. The Bears are more interested in a guy that can run from the right side, number 55, Rope. And that is after Bob Christian made a great block on the other blitzing linebacker.
John Roper just recently left for Dallas. He played in Texas as a collegian out of Texas A&M. Here's now a second down coming up. Second down and 19 for the Bears. Willis, 5-step drop, home run ball. Ooh, almost a foul on the Dallas defender.
Looks like
Anthony Morgan was the man intended receiver. Excuse me, Dan.
Don, it looked like number 41, Dave Thomas, really was all over the receiver. Well, let's watch here. The rule being that if a DB is looking back for an adjustment on the ball, he can interfere. There, clearly, Thomas was just trying to stretch out and save something. I don't know if that wasn't interference. But again, that's speed. The thing that Dave wants to bring to this offense is more speed. Morgan stretching the corner for the first time tonight.
Willis going to an out pattern, and going after the ball was number 83, Eric Wright. Led him too much, incomplete. 5:20 to go, third quarter. Dallas leading the Bears 14-10.
From the 40.
Well, Tony Tolbert, the left end, was caving in on PT. He had to get rid of that before he wanted. Again, you can talk about quarterback efficiency. You got to get protection.
There is the very fleet Kevin Williams back to return the kick for the Dallas Cowboys. Gardocki standing back at his 46-yard line.
Here they come.
Coming big time. Great kick by Gardocki. It'll be a first down for the Bears. They didn't get the ball, but they got Gardocki. So a foul on the pass rusher, the kick rushers. It was Roper coming hard. Might have been Roper who fouled Gardocki, but the Bears, I think, are going to get a first down.
The referee has picked up the flag.
It looks like they
picked up the flag. No, they threw a flag very deliberately right at the feet of the kicker after he was hit.
It looks like it was shoving. It looks like.
You talked about him giving a Dustin Hoffman routine earlier. Yeah, there wasn't much contact.
How about some good news for a change? Well, 4 of the top 10 models in J.D. Power & Associates initial quality study are Toyotas. It gets better. It's year-end clearance at your Toyota dealers. So you can get a new Tercel, best model in its price class for initial quality, for a price even better than its already low price. Or how about another leader? The sporty Paseo, an exciting way to get an exciting deal. Come to your Toyota dealer and see all the good news. But hurry, good news travels fast.
Yeah, you were right, Judd. There's no beach traffic.
Easy. I went out. There's a Coke machine.
Man, I'm so hot.
You certainly are.
Hot as in sweaty.
Hey, so crank on the AC.
Air conditioning is for the weak, like yourself.
I'm sticking to the seat, like yourself.
That dog is moving faster than we are.
All you guys ever do is complain.
Your shoes are pretty.
Could someone please fan me?
No.
Coca-Cola, anyone?
Yeah.
Thank you, Alan, for serving a purpose in my life for the first time.
Well,
You're very welcome.
The really great teams go all out. They never let up, not for a second.
That's why Electric Avenue beats the pants off the competition.
Mike, Electric Avenue has all the top brand names in electronics and appliances to beat the competition at every phase of the game. Like Sony, Panasonic, RCA, Apple, Maytag, GE, and Electric Avenue will beat any competitor's price guaranteed.
Teeny little guys, weren't they?
A roughing the kicker call is negated when number 65, Myron Baker, at the left of your screen, is called for pushing a rusher into the kicker. There, it looks like he was just trying to grab him, not pushing.
At any rate, they threw a flag, then picked it up, and Dallas goes in offense. And once again, running with the ball is Lincoln Coleman, and he's out across the 15-yard line. Carl Simpson was on the staff for the Bears, a rookie defensive lineman from Florida State, the #1 ranked preseason team for the third time in 6 years.
Well, Wanstead loves this young group on defense. You know, you got Spellman out there, Simpson, Zorich, Myron Baker, Vincent Smith. There's a bunch of guys he really wants to see tonight.
Hugh Millen throws the out pattern. Lincoln Coleman makes the catch. Takes a beating, but he does hold on.
Real nice face-up by Barry Menor, the rookie from Tulsa, who also came in the trade. Number 64 there. It's a big guy that you like. Right there, jamming the tight end. He's got the back. He'll come out. Now, this is a tough play. It doesn't look that tough. You got a good back coming at you, and you got to square up and kiss him. Just like that. Hey, that's a good-looking rookie there. And if they're going to be a good dog, they bite when they're a pup.
They're down at 5.
There's a flag on the play.
Looked like the right tackle might have come in a pass block stance before the snap of the ball.
False start. Offense, number 74, before the snap. 5-yard penalty.
So the Cowboys are set back 5 yards on the penalty call.
Well, number 74 for the Cowboys, Everett McIver. He's lined up on Albert Fontenot, the 4th-round pick for the Bears. It looks like Albert may be getting a pretty good rush on him there, making him pop up a little bit. We'll watch that. There it is.
Huge rush, almost a pickoff by the Bears, as the Bears come hard again and really nail Millen. Fontenot and Simpson. There's another Bear rookie, Albert Fontenot.
A lot of biting going out there. Number 74 to the left, bottom of your screen. Watch him. The old swim move. Tell you what, Johnny Weissmuller couldn't do it better than that. Big-time rush there.
And Everett McIver, who weighs 335 pounds, might be packing all that onto a bus.
Buy 2 tickets. Bring some sandwiches.
Quarterback gets hit like that, you're not going to keep a tackle around long. Here is the punt now by John Jett. He really unloads again. A deep punt downfield, but Obie, nobody's talking to him. He had plenty of room to return it. That's not Obie's fault. It's the guy that's up back who's supposed to block for him. Somebody has to, while he's watching the ball, tell him where the coverage is.
That's a 41. Punt covered 46 yards with no return.
Who's collecting? McDonald's! NFL kickoff payoff points!
Pull your kickoff payoff tab to find out how many points you've scored.
Touchdown! I got 6 points! Wish I got 6 points!
Get a free sheet of Chicago Bear player trading cards for just 10 points.
You got Carrier. Give you Harbaugh. I want Anderson.
Or save them for discounts on cool NFL gear.
I want a jersey just like this one!
Start collecting your kickoff payoff points now.
What you want is what you get.
Play NFL Kickoff Payoff.
At McDonald's today!
After Chicago Bears preseason football, Don Criqui with Dan Hampton and Mark Giangreco at Soldier Field. Confines now about 66,000 with the reconfiguration. There is Myron Baker. Great 3rd-round pick. Fontenot. Actually, they both picked in the 4th round. Fontenot and Baker. Biggest football crowd they ever had at Soldier Field, 1927. As an official is down at 123,000 here. Notre Dame edged USC 7-6 in 1927. An official down on the sideline with 3:18 to play in the third quarter.
I knew it. I knew you would get Notre Dame in somehow before the night was over. I knew it.
We have to tell them the next a week from Saturday.
You're
they open
relentless.
on NBC.
Relentless.
Against Northwestern.
I just wanted you to get your guy.
To give due credit to those Arkansas Hogs, we can't find one out there tonight. Bob Christian makes the catch. Well, Jimmy Johnson certainly an Arkansan. Yeah, he was on a national championship team in '64.
He sure was, and he was the guy that coached me my first 2 years at Arkansas, recruited me, in fact. And I tell you what, he had that hairdo back then too, Don. It's not one of those fly-by-night, overnight sensations. He had it back in the late 70s.
Now it's also legit. I mean, it was blowing in the wind. Sometimes it looked like one of those toupees you wear with a chin strap. Never moved in the wind.
Thought it was a blonde frisbee.
Mark Green gets the carry. He's at the 47-yard line.
With 185 pounds, he will never be one of those guys that bruise and beat up an opponent. But let me tell you something. This kid, he is not scared to run between tackles and let somebody have a shoulder. There you see him running through the tackle of the Dallas middle linebacker, Bobby Abrams. I like Mark Green. I like to see him when he gets out on the flank and really turns it on. He's got some jets.
Averaging almost 5 yards a carry tonight. 3rd down and 3. P.T. Willis with a nice throw. Anthony Morgan turning in, makes the reception and fights his way to the 39-yard line. Bears down by just 4, 14-10 driving.
Here Morgan getting open. 14-yard completion strike here for PT. Gets good protection. The rush is pushed by him. You can see the entire field. He can keep the ball low down where only Anthony Morgan can catch it. Morgan not going down without a fight either. And there, Dante Whitaker over there giving him a hand.
First and 10 at the Cowboys 38.
Great to see Anthony making plays after he was hit so hard in that preseason game against Phoenix a couple of weeks ago. Another throw and a catch as Willis stands in against a big pass rush and quickly releases the ball again to Anthony Morgan.
Tackled by Robert Williams. May I have your
Here we'll watch Morgan working on the corner. He'll push him off, look back, accept it, and come back to the ball. Good receivers always coming back to the ball. Anthony showing signs of really growing up, maturing, and trying to get that starting job and being an impact player for the Bears with his speed.
On the last play. 2nd and 6 at the Cowboys 34.
Here's a throw and a catch. Dante Whitaker, 255 pounds on the dead run, takes it down to the 20-yard line. A 13-yard gain for the Bears.
P.T. Willis making some great decisions here. Sees the middle linebacker jumping the tight end and says, hey, that linebacker can't run with my man. Let me get the ball to him. There, the outside linebacker has to make the play. Number 59, Darren Smith, covering. Wants Abrams, let him go into a seam. Now that's what you have to do. Make those quick decisions and get them the ball.
And he made a great decision as the third quarter winds out and the Bears continue to drive, perhaps for a go-ahead score when we come back. Back to live action. We start the fourth quarter. The Bears have the ball at the 20-yard line of Dallas. First down. Willis releases. Here comes Christian crashing inside the 5, and he's in. And the Bears take the lead. 20 yards and a touchdown.
P.T. Willis recognizes the blitz up inside. He knows the free safety, number 38, Chris Hall, has Bob Christian. Will never get there. Christian able to turn it up and get in the end zone first. Terrific decision by P.T. They seize the blitz, get rid of it, get it to Christian, let him turn up. This kid right here is a keeper, folks. Let me tell you something. I've seen a lot. He's got what it takes.
And they're keeping him. Bob Christian, now the point after by Butler important, would give the Bears a 3-point lead. It's good. And so the Bears take a 17-14 lead after Chicago moved the ball at will at the outside. The Dallas did at the outside of the game. It looked like they'd blow them out.
What's the difference between men and women? It's all in the genes.
Down reception with P.T. Willis on the throwing end, and the Bears lead for the first time in the game 17-14. Now Gardocki is set to kick off for Chicago. Brock Marion to the left, 31, and the fleet Kevin Williams to the right. Williams, a sprinter across the 20, breaks the gap. He's out across the 30, and a marker comes down. Penalty marker's down. Looks like a penalty call on the blocking of the Cowboys on the kick return. That's what got the lane open for Williams, apparently, Dan.
That helps. On the return team, number 40, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Bill Bates, one of the all-time Cowboy veterans, was called for the hold. So the Cowboys, instead of a big returner, now set back to their 12-yard line where they'll have the ball 1st and 10 in a moment.
You get confidence. P.T. Willis completing 5 of 5. Mark Green running the ball up in there. I tell you what, when the offense clicks on all cylinders, it looks great. They've got to keep it up and get some more confidence.
Now the Cowboys going with Hugh Millen. And he gives off to Brock Marion. And not a whole lot happens. That's actually Michael Beasley, the runner. He was a wide receiver at West Virginia, and they made him a running back at Dallas. They think he might stick also. But the guy that looked the best for Dallas was the first half runner, Derek Lassick. The designated leverage to get Emmitt Smith to sign.
I'll tell you what, Jimmy Johnson doesn't like to brag on rookies, but I tell you what, there'll probably be an awful lot written about Lassick's performance tonight. He looked very, very sharp.
He really looked terrific. Alonzo Spellman gets a hold of Beasley and throws him back, and the rest of the Bears come then. Myron Baker leads the way.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ron Stone, number 65, had his hands full there. Alonzo Spellman, number 90, right there, rips up field, goes up underneath the fullback's blocks, just goes, weeds them out, says, hey, who's got the ball? Let me get the guy with the ball, and puts a one-handed job on it. Now, let me tell you one thing. This guy's got 39.5-inch inseam on his sleeves. Hey, he can reach you from the other side of the field.
Man, a lot.
He ought to do a commercial for AT&T. He can reach out.
Like a condor, a wingspan. Hugh Millen drops and throws, and he's errant. The Bears get a big rush on him. That Fontenot puts some heat on. Also coming hard for the Bears was Frank Komet. So they call him Alonzo Spellman.
Oh, I tell you what, watch him here. He's got the tackle scared. Takes a corner. The back has to help on him. Says, hey, you're coming too fast. I got to slow you down. That's why Millen was unable to complete that. He saw a huge guy coming at him.
John Jett standing back deep in his own area. Steps in, hits a low drive, but it'll come back. Here comes Terry Obie. Return right, and Obie with his speed gets inside the Dallas 45-yard line, and then a penalty marker comes in after the tackle.
Looks like an inadvertent face mask.
Tackled by Dixon Edwards. There's a flag in the play.
Looks like number 58 was called for the face mask.
Dixon Edwards, the starting linebacker. So with 13:09 to play.
Face mask, 5 yards on the kicking team. First down.
The Bears start with good field position. Here's Dixon Edwards, 58, making a grab at Terry Obie. Not getting much mask, enough to get a penalty.
The end of the model year is the smart time of the year to buy a new Ford Taurus.
P.T. Willis, after his second throw of the night, was intercepted. putting up some good numbers.
Well, he is. He's making a lot of very, very fine decisions. They blitz, he gets it to the back in a side adjustment. Linebacker comes, he dumps it over. I tell you what, that's what you have to do. You got to take what a defense gives you. Right now, he's taking an awful lot.
Jim Harbaugh, he has been designated as the starter, biting on his hand at this point. Willis with the drop. Lets it fly. Ooh, he's a little bit long for Mark Green. They did not have Mark Green covered coming out of the backfield. That would have gone if it had been a little shorter for 6.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's encouraging. Hey, let's take a shot on first down. Gets back, pretty good protection, he just fires it. Mark lays out, timing's off it. It's a little overthrown, but let me tell you something. The free safety is going to be worried about that play the rest of the game. They won't be coming up on those running plays quite so quickly, won't be jumping the tight end. They'll be worried about those little streak patterns. And you got to keep them honest over there to make anything work.
So now Willis sets his team on 2nd down and 10. Bears in the lead, 17-14. They took the lead on a touchdown, a 20-yard pass play to Bob Christian from Willis in their last possession. This one to Christian comes in on the 1 hop.
Big Chad Hennings right in the face again. Again, that Dallas defense is so tough. They've got 7, 8, 9 guys on the defensive line that can start. I mean, start and help a lot of people around the NFL. And this guy right here, I read somewhere where Jimmy Johnson said, hey, I think that this guy should have been an offensive lineman all along. He's a great athlete, but he's more suited to the offense. I tell you, watching him in action tonight, I tell you what, he's doing an awful lot of good things as a defensive lineman.
Yeah, he's been in the backfield of the Bears the whole second half that he's been in. Now in 3rd down, Willis sends out 4 wide receivers, a quick timing throw, and a connection is made. Eric Wright comes down with the ball, and he's got it for a first down at the 28-yard line. Well done throw and catch.
And number 38, Chris Hall, remembers a few minutes ago they ran a streak on him. He's not going to let the receiver get behind him. They get that out, opened up. Now that's what you have to do. Just whittle away, take what they give you. PT making some real smart choices.
First and 10 at the Cowboys, 48.
Double tight end set now for the Chicago Bears on a 1st and 10 play. Mark Green. He's down close to the 26-yard line. Got a couple on the play. Tackled by Tolbert, the left defensive end, number 92 for the Cowboys.
Well, we talked all night about Bob Christian, how he's so smart. He makes so many things happen for the offense, and he's just a rookie. Watch him here, number 44, lead up there on the linebacker, stand him up. Not only is this kid quick, nifty, and smart, he's got a little mean streak in him, too. I'll tell you what, the Bears are very, very high on him. Maybe the find of the camp.
And he's getting a lot of work tonight. He's been in the end zone. Bob Christian, lone setback. Misconnection, and Willis has to eat the ball before he's eaten by Tony Tolbert.
Well, obviously, PT tried to go to something else. They audible. The backs didn't get it, either Christian or Green. Someone, it looked like it would be some kind of a gut trap. PT had to eat it. And that's what's going to happen. A lot of times you get in these games and things that are easy in practice, the enthusiasm and excitement of the era of being out there on the field, somebody could say something to you and you don't even hear them.
And that was the 3rd sack of the night, Dan, for the Dallas defense.
That was a cheap one, though.
On 3rd and 11. Nice breakup by the Cowboys.
That was a nice job over there on the right side by the right. Robert Williams.
Yeah, trying to make the team.
Well, I tell you what, if you're standing on the sidelines and you don't have any grass stains on your pants right now on either sideline, you're starting to sweat, because you know you better get out there and play tonight to show these guys you want to be here and they should keep you. I'll tell you what, if you haven't been, if you're a player and you haven't been out there right now, you're starting to worry. A lot of guys doing some things to make their teams keep them.
This will be a 46-yard attempt by Kevin Butler. He needs to make a long one just for his own confidence. He spins it up, and Kevin Butler delivers the goods.
That's on the pin.
On the pin it was, right through the middle. And the Bears extend their lead to 20-14. A veritable blowout by Bear standards.
I tell you, if you've ever hit wedge, that's right on the pin, gang.
Just like they like in Chicago.
Good news.
Downs it. It'll be a touchback and come out to the 20. And now we look at the Toyota game summary. Peter Tom Willis, after the early interception, coming back to pass well. Threw for 1 touchdown, set up the long field goal with some other passes. Bob Christian on the scoring end twice tonight. Once, you'll remember, when he picked up the block punt. It's got to be a tough time, Dan, when the news is passed. Over the years, you've seen a lot of guys. I mean, you never had to worry about getting cut. Just about everybody else does, though. Even high draft choices, a lot of them don't last. Here's a throw and a catch as Jason Garrett throws to Tyrone Williams, a player out of Canada. Jason Garrett played with 2 of his brothers at Princeton. Judd was their all-time leading rusher, still is. John was a wide receiver, now a scout for Tampa Bay. Their dad, Jim Garrett, is a scout for the Cowboys. Jason's played in the World League. He was in Canada for a while. And he just came back and had a great summer with the Cowboys. He was their practice squad quarterback all last season. They were so impressed with his work ethic. He was, for example, Jim Kelly in the 2 weeks leading up to the Super Bowl. He ran the Buffalo offense. Not going to get it away there.
Myron Baker coming on the outside blitz.
A couple of shots like that, you think he's back in the World League.
Well, he may have to go back to Princeton and study nepotism. Because I tell you what, if he don't get any more help on the corner, Myron Baker's going to put him back there pretty quick. The back coming over late. Myron Baker's already laid out. Second sack of the night for the Bears. That's what you've got to do against a very efficient offense like the Cowboys. You've got to put pressure on them.
2nd and 16. Here's a throw in the flat. Christian working hard. Excuse me, Lincoln Coleman with working hard and getting out across the 35 to the 37 for a 10-yard gain on the play.
Well, one of the things Dave Wanstead said we have to do right now is be mentally tough to do the little things correctly. Here, wasn't a bad gain, but here Myron Baker does not lock up and gives the back another 5-6 yards. Those are little things, mentally tough to do the little things when you have to. It's a good run by the back, but still he should have been tackled back at the original line of scrimmage.
Cowboys down by 6 with a lot of time left. 9:20 to play. And a penalty marker's down before the snap of the ball.
It's like Big Carl Simpson, 98, gets a little antsy.
Defense, number 94, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
It's Frank Komet.
He's fighting for a job, Big Frank.
Sure he is. Tell you what, if there's one parallel between the Bears and Dallas, they do have great depth on their defensive line.
Yeah.
They've got about 8-9 guys that they're very, very happy with. It's just going to be a numbers game to decide who they're going to keep.
Well, they're projecting the Cowboys with the expanded rosters, Dan, are going to keep 9. I think they've got that many that are good enough that they can't let one go. Here's a handoff straight ahead. Michael Beasley runs hard on 3rd and 2, and he looks to have gotten the 1st down for the Cowboys. Tackle on the play by Alonzo Spellman and by Mo Douglas of the Bears. Jimmy Johnson starting his 5th year as coach of the Cowboys. Just made the turn to the back 9, had his 50th birthday. With that health kick, he was, I was telling about these earlier, he was seen jogging down Michigan Avenue. He was on the sidewalk, but wasn't that daring. 1st and 10. Swing pass. Nice lead throw, and Beasley takes it in, and then the Bears shut it right down for no gain, maybe a loss of a yard on the play.
Talking about Johnson jogging down Michigan Avenue, maybe he saw Emmitt Smith drive by. Hey, wait. I tell you, the thing about Jimmy Johnson is when he took the job at Dallas, they were getting their heads caved in, And Dave Wanstead said, you know, we're sitting in the film room, teams are killing us. And Jimmy said, hey, don't worry about the schemes. You know, the writers say we're a bunch of college coaches. Don't worry about it. The schemes are fine. Leave them alone. We got to get great players. Next thing you know, Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, these are the kind of guys that win championships. The schemes are fine.
Holding, offense, number 65, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Rich Dalrymple of the Cowboys organization was saying last night that there's a lot of misconceptions about the relationship of Jimmy Johnson and the owner. That book portrayed them to be, you know, adversaries at each other's throats. He says they have a very good working relationship. Like any people running an organization, they disagree on certain things, but he said that's one of the strengths of the organization is the way they get along and meet on decisions that affect the team. Garrett with a good throw. Johnson covering, and Tyrone Williams, who, believe it or not, comes out of Canada, Western Ontario. He had a great game when the Cowboys went to Europe to play.
Here we're seeing Johnson staying with him. Now, don't spin around. Wait, break. There you go. Now he has to get a little bit more confidence, stay up there and be able to get up there and strip that ball out and deny the completion. That comes with playing time, comes from being successful. You can't get turned around and let him throw it behind you.
Second down and 10 comes out. Bears lead by 6. 7:18 to play. Garrett, another throw and another catch by Tyrone Williams. This guy's a nice looking target, isn't he?
I'll tell you what.
Expands the strike zone.
Exactly. And of course, until that corner gets up there and denies that out, they're going to just keep it up.
Keyshawn Johnson apparently turned an ankle, so he comes off for the Bears as the ball is positioned now inside the 45-yard line. Game clock down to 7 minutes to play. Bears trying to stave off the Cowboys, who've been moving down the field behind Jason Garrett at quarterback. Beasley runs. Fontenot tackles for the Bears, number 74.
Well, the thing about Fontenot that they like so much is he's kind of one of those edge guys like Richard Dent. You know, he's not one of those guys you want to put inside there and make two-gap a 300-pound lineman all day, but you let him get out in space, hit those corners just like on that last play. He's an exciting young rookie, and he'll only get better with age. And I tell you one thing, he's got those quicks. You can get bigger and stronger, but you can never get a guy much quicker. Albert Fontenot has got a lot of quicks.
Garrett has been perfect throwing the ball, 4 for 4 for 45 yards. Free ball, 4 for 5, and almost an intercept. Some Bear linemen had a play on that.
The number 64, Barry Mentor, the rook, blitzing from the left side here. Gets up there now, he's rubbing his hand. That ball hurt him. I tell you, I don't know how tough they are at Tulsa, but this is the big leagues, and they put a little juice on it. They're getting his right hand up in front of the quarterback, knocking it down. Yeah. I'll be on the final cut, he's saying. I hope.
Somebody else has to say it, though, for to start waving that number 1.
Well, you keep making plays like that, you don't have to worry about it.
Third down, and the Cowboys need 10. Play whistle dead. It's going to be interesting, Dan, to see how the NFC Central shakes out. Lions unbeaten in preseason are 3-0-1. Everybody's talking about how great the Packers are going to be with Reggie White.
Number 85.
They're 0-4.
Snap, 5-yard penalty. Remain third down.
Minnesota 4-1.
Well, you can get an awful lot accomplished in the preseason, but the main thing you want to do is evaluate your talent and make sure that you have the best 53 players. And the thing is, I really think the Bears are going to be a factor. I don't know if they'll win it. God knows I'd love for them too, but there will be a factor. They're going to beat some good teams and shake the box.
Garrett throws. His receiver fell down. It would have been right there. So the Cowboys can't connect on a third down try, and this is a big play for the Bears. Was a big play for the Bears, as now will get the ball back, and they're holding to a 6-point lead. There's no question, I've seen a lot of the Giants, and they've been making a lot of mistakes. They've had a lot of problems with turnovers, enormous amounts of penalties. They too are going into a new system under Dan Reeves. Of course, the Giants come in here to Soldier Field a week from Sunday to open the season.
Well, that's going to be the big factor, I believe. We're playing at home, and the Giants, under both teams' rookie coaches, that's going to be a lot larger factor than normal.
Ariobi still running back kicks for the Bears, and he is down to the 12-yard line. Player the Bears have to beware of in that game is Lawrence Taylor, the great giant linebacker. After Achilles tendon surgery last season, this guy looks better than ever, and he's been eating up quarterbacks.
The end of the model year is the smart.
We're back at Soldier Field in Chicago. Don Criqui with Dan Hampton and Mark Giangreco as the Bears conclude preseason play, looking to avert a losing preseason. A fate that last befell them in 1978. They went on to have a losing season that year, but they were drafted Hampton.
They didn't know how bad things got. It was getting worse.
Double tight ends in now. The Bears looking to pound the ball and run the clock if they can. Power eye set. Cowboys looking for the run, and the game is out close to the 16-yard line. Mark Green ahead for about 3 yards. Bears now will huddle at their leisure with 5:25 to play in the game.
Big Troy Arzine still in at left tackle, going the distance tonight, limping around a little bit. Looks like he's sprained an ankle or a knee or something. I don't know what exactly it was, but you don't want to get this guy hurt. You need to give him the work, but he's one of the guys that, I think there's about 5 linchpins in this team. The difference between having a super season for this team or a bad season, and he's one of them. He continues to improve. Harbaugh, Neil Anderson gets healthy. They get a couple of linebackers, be big play guys. But this guy right here is very, very important. You need to keep him on the field as much as possible.
That's a big doctor the Bears have, huh?
Well, you got some big guys out there.
The number one objective in the final preseason game for every team every year is to not lose anybody. You want to play well and take a look at people when you have to make your final cuts. But I think like Arzine's difficulty is probably a minor one.
Well, I tell you what, I think the game has been fought by the Bears. I think Dallas looked excellent early, but the Bears have just scratched their way back in it and deserved to win this game.
Throw up the middle. Anthony Morgan has the ball. And he's to the 22-yard line. I think in the opening game, the Bears will beat the Giants by a field goal, like 17-14. I think the Bears will sack Phil Simms at least 6 times. I think Lawrence Taylor will sack Harbaugh himself 3 times. Unless they put 3 guys on him.
Well, that's all in the offensive structure that they're going to prepare next week. Now, they're going to come back in Sunday and Monday in practice. Of course, cut down days Tuesday. They'll let the players have off Tuesday. But come Wednesday, everything's on the line. Everybody, all hands on deck. That's when everything starts to count.
Handoff straight ahead. Nothing there. Bob Christian runs. Of course, I also had the Bulls to lose to Phoenix in a 4-game sweep.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay, I've got 100 of that.
Okay. And now our Coors Light Silver Bullet player of the game is Bob Christian, who tonight 6 receptions for 48 yards and a touchdown. He picked up a block punt and ran it in for 10 yards and a touchdown. He scored 12 of the Bears' 20 points, but he's been consistently good all season, all preseason, running the ball, blocking it on special teams. You've liked him right from the first time.
Oh, yeah, onward Christian soldier. I tell you what, that guy is, he's one of the guys that you can win with. He reminds me early on about reminding me of the kid in Cleveland, Vardell. The more I'm around him, Rathman comes to mind.
Yeah.
Real tough guy. Frisco won an awful lot of games with Rathman at fullback, a hard-nosed guy from Nebraska. I tell you what, Bob Christian has a bright future, and I tell you, it's not just against the second team. So I've seen him do an awful lot of good things, first team on first team.
Gardocki hits the deep punt. Kevin Williams looks to run it back. This is a man who can go long distances. He's not done till he gets to the midfield line.
Boy, it makes you hold your breath when he catches the ball.
23-yard return after a 51-yard punt.
Man, I tell you what, he's exciting. Very exciting.
Here's how the Bears schedule look on Sunday. September 5th, they open against the Giants here at Soldier Field. The following Sunday, they play the Vikings at Minnesota. They're off September 19th, and they're home to play Tampa Bay, home to play Atlanta. Then they go to Philadelphia. So the early scheduling certainly favors them.
Well, it does. And I remember Mike Ditka's first year, we went on strike. We lost the first 2 games.
Over Mike or?
We lost the first 2 games. And then we went on strike. And I hated the strike, but I do know that it helped us come together. Maybe that off week is in a perfect position for the Bears.
This year, each team will get 2 off weeks. Throwing a catch down to the 40-yard line. Jason Garrett standing in against a big rush from Alonzo Spellman.
Spellman coming from the top. Fodno from the top. Here's Spellman on the inside. Does a great job clubbing the tackle out of the way and countering back inside. I tell you what, it takes a long time to get people to learn that technique, and he made it look pretty simple there.
Cowboys down by 6. First down and 10. Another good throw by Garrett down to the 40-yard line, but the Bears are right there to make the play. Immediately following the game, Channel 5 News, and then the post-game report. Game clock ticking down, 2 minutes and 50 seconds left to play here at Soldier Field. The final preseason game. The Bears 0-3 in the preseason so far. Losers in 3 close games in their previous Soldier Field appearance. They lost in the closing seconds, actually on the final play. The Phoenix Cardinals on a long field goal lost 11-10. High snap from center ended up costing him 5 points in the game. A safety, then the field goal after the free kick. The Cowboys now threatening. They've got to get it in the end zone. 13-yard gain on the play down to the 24-yard line.
Well, you know, when Dallas jumped out 14-0, a lot of fans probably thought, oh, the offense has got to get him back in the game. Well, the kicking game and the defense brought him back in it, and the offense matured a little bit in the second half, scoring some points. I tell you what, I think it was a great scenario for the Bears to go through tonight.
Now the 2-minute warning is given as the Cowboys are challenging. A touchdown on an extra point could give them this game. So while Jason Garrett goes to the sideline to get some counsel, there's a break in the action, and we'll be back in a moment.
Good news. J.D. Power & Associates rank 4 Toyota models among the top 10 models in initial quality. And the good news gets better. It's year-end clearance at Toyota dealers. And that means great deals, even on Camry, the best car built in America. But there's more. Toyota dealers have to make room for 94 models. So get a 93 Corolla, the best Corolla ever, for just $179 a month. So come to your Toyota dealer and see all the good news. But hurry, good news travels fast.
Move it, cool it, silver, bullet, rock it, smooth it, silver, bullet, play it, pull it, take it, taste it, live it, love it, say it, play it, take it, pull it, silver bullet. It's the right beer now. Grab it while you can. Silver bullet, have the right beer now.
The airline that gives Chicago nonstops to Tokyo has added nonstops to Seoul without missing a beat. United, the only U.S. airline with 747-400 nonstops to Seoul. Come fly the airline that's uniting the world. Come fly the friendly skies.
Back to Soldier Field. 2 minutes to play. Cowboys have the ball, trailing the Bears by 6 points, 20-14. Early in the game, the Cowboys came out with Aikman throwing and Aikman hitting everything, especially Michael Irvin. On their first possession, they went 82 yards down the field, paying off a 41-yard throw from Aikman to Michael Irvin for the touchdown. Looked like the Bears were in deep trouble, but they've rallied back. They've now taken the lead, but Dallas is driving late in the game. Jason Garrett throws a strike. The very fleet Kevin Williams making a two-hands catch. Away from the body, lets the ball come in, and he's then taken down by Lemuel Simpson.
Spellman getting some more pressure on him, and I tell you what, it's important for the Bears not to think they got a moral victory by just leading Dallas late in the game. They need to stop them and preserve this victory.
Well, this has had a familiar look, hasn't it, Dan? These late rallies by the opposition in the preseason. Monday night at New Orleans. Here's Garrett throwing. Williams was turning out at the ball, and again the Bears got good pressure on Williams. They also had pressure on Garrett. There is the man who is covering, Jeremy Lincoln, with 1:25 to go.
Again, you got to be very impressed with the way the Bears have showed a little tenacity tonight. They got down, but they didn't give up. Their defense kicking game kept them in it. Now they need to put their backs against the wall and come up big.
Number of first-year players in the Bears defensive unit now as the Cowboys try to go on third down. It looks like they were knocked back. And the clock continues to tick. Myron Baker makes another big fill and stick for Chicago. Now the Cowboys signal for and are allotted a timeout.
40-second timeout. It is fourth down.
Fourth down coming up.
If anybody knows Jimmy Johnson, you know he's not going to give his old partner a cheap victory. He's going to go for the end zone. If it is not, it can't be more than 4 or 5 inches here, Don.
I tell you, Garrett likes, and everybody else does, is Tyrone Williams. 6'4" wide receiver from Canada. Not a lot of wide receivers come out of Ontario. A lot of hockey players do. Dave Wanstead looking for that breakthrough win as coach of the Bears. Opening day is all that really matters, but this would give them a real tailwind heading into that open if they can beat the world champions even in the preseason.
Well,
fourth down.
Talking about he has to go through an awful lot of first. It'd be a great first to get his first victory against his old team.
Looking to throw. Intercepted. Vincent Smith, the former Cowboy who came to Chicago in the Roper trade, makes the pickoff, but there are penalty markers down. It might be against the Bears. Another now foul call after the second penalty's in.
You talk about irony.
Everybody's waiting to see what it is. Jason Garrett right there with the officials.
This would make a great book. All the subplots in this game tonight. All the coaching changes, the player and the one man that came from Dallas is the one that beats Dallas with a goal line interception.
Well, depending on which way it goes, it's probably the game. If it's against the Bears, it'll be a first down, and Dallas is going to probably score and win. Because against the Cowboys, the Bears take over, and the game is over. Or will be shortly with 1:07 left to go. That's how much rides on this penalty call. Here it is.
We have multiple fouls. Defensive pass interference, number 37. After the play, personal foul. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 55, will be tacked on from the end of the run. First down.
So Vincent Smith's interception is negated. His lack of decorum after the penalty was called.
I think he threw the ball up in the air. I'm not sure. I didn't see him do anything that would warrant a death penalty, which is what it's going to be.
That's a game penalty, really.
A death penalty. It'll be first and goal on the 3.5-yard line. Man, oh man. Mo Douglas gets called for a defensive interference call, and then an extra penalty tacked on. Vincent Smith called for unsportsmanlike.
Almost be better, Dan, if they scored fast, so the Bears would get some time to work rather than run the clock out.
You never think like that as a defensive guy.
Here's
Never.
Garrett rolling out. He's got problems. It might be. It is a touchdown for Dallas. A sidearm throw by Jason Garrett into traffic, and his touchdown.
Well, Don, I think you called it. You said they need to score quick if they're going to score. Here, Garrett using his speed to get outside. He sees his big target, number 86, Tyrone Williams. Gets him the ball.
Good all the way.
Making
second look.
Making a play that'll get him a job.
Now the point after. Right now it's a tie game, so this is critically important also. The Lynn Elliott field goal extra point attempt. Never in doubt. And with an even minute to play, the Cowboys have taken back the lead 21-20, and now they must kick off to the Bears.
We'll take another look at it. Jason Garrett getting out, holding Alfonso with his left, just flinging it. I mean, that's not a pass you want to show a youngster and say, this is the way you throw it. But I'll tell you what, it counts 6. And a young man probably got him a job on that play right there.
And there was a 10-point wipeout as Alfonso really buried Garrett on the sideline, but he had gotten the ball away. I think he's a little shaken up, but still happy.
Well, Wannstedt said early on, we're not mentally tough enough to do the right things in the critical situations. There, a penalty and an extra tack-on penalty cost the Bears a possible win. 8 plays, 50 yards. I'll tell you what, Garrett looks very sharp. Kind of looks like Aikman with a carrot top.
Looks a little dazed as he took a hard hit from Fontenot just as he released the ball. It was a clean hit all the way. Now the Bears have a minute to work with to get in field goal range. You'll recall that not that long ago, Kevin Butler hit his longest field goal of the preseason, hit a 46-yarder. If they can hit some passes, he may be called on to try something like that to win the game. Ariobi from the goal line. 10 to the 18-yard line, and with 56 seconds to play, the Bears send out their offense.
Well, the bad news is the Bears are some 83 yards away. The good news is the wind is behind them. Butler will have the benefit of a good stiff breeze out of the north.
The Bears have first and 10 at their own 17.
Chicago with the full complement of 3 timeouts remaining.
If the Cowboys get up and press with their corners, look for PT to look for the streak pattern to someone on the outside flank.
P.T. Willis drops and looks at 4 wide receivers. A throw underneath. Eric Wright makes the catch, but the knockdown is made very quickly. Ryan Wetnight with the reception. Bears quickly into a line without a huddle. 42 seconds to play. They need something deeper than that after a 4-yard gain. On 2nd and 6, there's the long ball. There's a man open. It's just off his fingertips at the 40-yard line.
Yes, sir. Don, it appears to me that number 23 will be called for interference. Robert Williams, the left cornerback. It looks like it as the last gasp effort. Yes, sir.
Michael Shula, the Bears tight end coach, the son of Don Shula. A 21-yard penalty, but the Bears still need much more yardage in just 33 seconds to get it. Here's a throw to Christian. Cowboys come a hit and knock him down at the Chicago 47. Bears call a timeout with 24 seconds to play. Dave Wannstedt talking yesterday about this looks like a season that's going to be like the preseason, everything down to the final gun, and we have another one tonight.
Well, if they get the ball about the 30, they've got a pretty darn good chance of making the field goal with Butler kicking. That's a 23-yard gain. A couple of 12-yard outs would put you in an ideal position.
Butler's a 50-yard plus man on many occasions over the years. Recently, he's had some problem not with distance, but with accuracy. He had a tough season last year, as did a lot of Bears.
Well, Kevin is always going to be known in my mind as a guy that is a pressure kicker. I don't know how many games he won late in the game, 2 minutes or less, to win or to force overtime, and then I think he's won 3 games in overtime with the field goals.
1 timeout left for the Bears, so Willis has to throw deep. No time to do that. He gets it to Christian. He gets a first down, and the game clock is down to 17 seconds left, and the Bears use their final timeout. Or do they have one more? They've got one left. A 40-second timeout, so Dave Wannstedt. I guess you got to throw out patterns here to save the 1 timeout to get the field goal unit out if need be.
Well, that's what Dallas was doing, making sure they didn't throw the out. That's why the open part of the field was in the middle, where he went to Christian. Now you're going to have to make a decision. Do you force an out pattern? Do you throw a streak? Or you throw like a deep crossing pattern, hoping the receiver can get out of bounds before he's tackled?
The Channel 5 News is next here on WMAQ television. But first, we have 17 seconds in the game to decide as the Cowboys, the early leader, then down, finally rally back to take the lead 21-20. Jimmy Johnson wants somebody off the field.
Russell Maryland has to get off before they snap it.
You can play with less than 11, but not more. Do they have 11 out there? Willis throws. And the Bears use their final timeout. So the ball is positioned to the 36. He had 17 yards onto that. A 53-yard field goal.
But again,
that's what they're going to try.
Strong wind out of the north. Gotta love it if you're Kevin Butler. Last year, a long time in the doghouse with Mike Ditka.
Well,
this would be a great way to get out of that little house.
Yeah, there's definitely a tailwind. Boy, do the Bears need this. Would this be great for this franchise and their new coach? They can beat the world champions. Official distance where they're marking is 53 yards. This could be the game winner. Fake play. Gardocki looking to throw, and in ignominy the game ends. Or at least Dallas takes over the ball as the Bears go to their bag of tricks, and it blows up.
Well, Gardocki is the holder this year. Usually it's a backup quarterback. Last year, P.T. Willis. But since Butler and Gardocki spent so much time by themselves, Gardocki's a holder. It looks like he never got the ball in position for Butler to kick it.
Wait a minute now. They're going to do it.
Incomplete. They get another kick.
Oh,
it's still third down.
An incomplete pass. It's third down.
Watch the hole by Gardocki.
Very nearly was intercepted. This time you know it's a kick. Pulled it on the way. He has got it. The Chicago Bears and a 53-yard field goal by Kevin Butler on the final play of the game beat the world champion Cowboys. And I'll tell you something, Dan. Jimmy Johnson's probably about as happy as Dave Wannstedt. He wishes him that well.
Well, I'll tell you what, when they lost the first game, Jimmy Johnson said, you know, swollen heads don't fit in helmets so correctly. Tonight, we'll bring them back to earth, get them ready for the season. Great outing for the Bears. They answered an awful lot of questions. The main one, Kevin Butler.
What an ending, and what a night for Dave Wannstedt. His first victory as the Bears head coach. We'll be coming back to Soldier Field in a moment.
What's the difference between men and women? It's all in the genes. Next question.
How about some good news for a change? Well, 4 of the top 10 models in J.D. Power & Associates initial quality study are Toyotas. It gets better. It's year-end clearance at your Toyota dealers. So you can get a new Tercel, best model in its price class for initial quality, for a price even better than its already low price. Or how about another leader? The sporty Paseo, an exciting way to get an exciting deal. Come to your Toyota dealer and see all the good news. But hurry, good news travels fast.
Mass transportation was revolutionized by the jet engine, vision by the contact lens, TV by the satellite dish, sound by the compact disc. And now cellular communications has been revolutionized by the digital phone. You can experience the digital cellular phone's uncluttered, unrivaled sound today, only at authorized Cellular One sales and service centers. The revolutionary digital phone. Another way Cellular One goes beyond the call.
Introducing Rooms & More, the smart new way to buy furniture. Quality brands, the latest styles, the hottest new colors and fabrics. Over 40 custom-designed room groupings. Buy by the piece, by the group, or by the room, and save 20 to 50%. Rooms & More, now at Montgomery Ward.
Chicago Bears preseason football has been brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. I love what you do for me, Toyota. United, proud to be the official airline of the Chicago Bears. Miller Lite, great taste, less filling combined. Can your beer do this? And your local Ford dealer has been a participating advertiser. Quality people, quality products.
And so the final numbers are up, and on the final play of the game, a 53-yard field goal by Kevin Butler. The Bears beat the world champion Cowboys 23-21. The Coca-Cola Classic play of the game is the Butler field goal. 2 long ones tonight. He hit from 46, then from 53 to decide it as the Bears rally back a second time to take the lead at the final gun and win it. The post game is next here on Channel 5. Stay tuned after the game for the Channel 5 news, complete with Mark Giangreco's post game reports live from Soldier Field. Wannstedt's first victory as the long field goal sails towards the uprights and cuts right through the middle. Out for Dan Hampton, this is Don Criqui. Glad you could be with us.
A promotional fee has been paid to the Chicago